A very warm welcome to the Somerset Champion of Champions singles broadcast live from Club Hastings. Isn't it wonderful? What a great setting it is here yet again at this Hastings facility. And what we've done, of course, is attract all the leading men and women's singles players, the centre champions from each of the centres around New Zealand. I'm John Macbeth, and I'm delighted to be joined by Alex Reid. We'll be carting you through this couple of games today and then throughout the next 2 days, Saturday and Sunday. So hello to you, Alex. We know this round we're going to be broadcasting Natasha Grimshaw, local from Kiatoa, and Reen Bellis of Aramaho and Wanganui.
Yes, I'm looking forward to this match, John. They've both had a loss in the morning and have had a bye, so this is their second game that they've played today, and that's Reen Bellis there from Aramaho, who's played the first bowl in the light blue shirt, and I have no idea what colour that bowl is.
So we must just warn you, in case you don't know, Alex has a colour blindness situation. He uses it quite regularly as an excuse. So we've got two very good players here, haven't we? This Natasha Grimshaw, of course, has just been outstanding over several seasons. I think she's won the singles title here in Hawke's Bay half a dozen years in a row. I'm not sure about that, but certainly she's been, you know, a huge figure in singles and other bowls in Hawke's Bay.
Absolutely. Seems like a perennial winner, Natasha Grimshaw, and Reen Bellis needs no introduction. And look at this here. These players, the first three bowls, perfect green, and that was a great shot there from Reen.
So it's our first close-up look at Natasha Grimshaw. There's a few spectators around here. It's lunchtime. I think that might be Peter Bellis up in the top left, is it, with his enjoying lunch, or am I wrong? No, it looks a bit like him, but anyway.
I think it is, enjoying a delicious sandwich by the looks.
Yeah. So we're delighted again to have Somerset's involvement with top-class bowls in New Zealand. And out to the side, you'll continue to see other matches in action, but we're totally concentrating on this one here. Reen Bellis is a tall player, gets down well though and delivers it nicely. She's holding the shot at the moment. These are sort of a purpley mauvey sort of colour, Alex, her bowls.
Well, that's good
and the other ones are speckled white.
It's the issue now, isn't it, with all the different coloured bowls? There's so many different names, and the suppliers get quite creative with the names of the bowls. I can recall. Look here, Natasha Grimshaw just about used that wing bowl perfectly. Maybe just out of the count there.
Yeah, and I like the design. There was I was commentating on that Super Singles last weekend from Nainai, and one of the bowlers there had his grandfather's birth date and death date on it, and a pipe, you know, one of the old Sherlock Holmes type pipes, because that was Mike, his grandfather's passion was piping, and so just his logo was something different other than what you do tend to get with bowlers, but they can now put on whatever they like. The bowls manufacturers just love it. I think they love the challenge, coming up with something different.
Absolutely. I think, long may it continue. Bowls are just plastic. I reckon we'll see opaque bowls before too long. I think that would be the next step.
Right.
Could be interesting.
Yes.
Natasha on the back end.
She's just playing for that shot. Or if she carts the jack back to hers, she would have had three, but she doesn't. That's the sort of shot she's very good at it. She loves the weighted shots. But in general, you'll find that the draw is the important part of any game, and as a lot of these experienced players, particularly women, will say, you know, there's only one shot on bowls, and that's draw. You can draw with a bit of weight, but you get your draw going right, and it is what Bellis did with that second bowl of hers. So she takes a 1-0 lead in the first to 21.
It is always an interesting contrast, John, and I think we'll see it here in this game between your more aggressive players and your dead drawing players in a game of singles. And sometimes you see the drawing players are able to just consistently stack their heads up and they'll suffocate you out of a game. But conversely, if the aggressive player is feeling it, God, it can be hard to beat.
Yep. see what movement Bellis makes of the mat and jack. She's playing that other hand this time, so... Well, no, she's playing the same side of the rink, isn't she? So that may be what her intentions are, and she won't want to change after a first bowl like that.
Yeah, you'd be happy.
The men's competition is on at the same time. I think their first round, though, is later this afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah, it's all staggered through, John, because there's obviously, as you can see, just that there's one green and two rather large competitions running, so it's a staggered draw, but it all makes sense.
Nothing wrong with that green of Natasha Grimshaw.
Great stuff.
Good play here from Bellis,
really
isn't it?
Game.
Just yeah, she's got one on the jack. She's up there covering. She knows what Grimshaw's capable of with the weighted shots. So just getting one over. Grimshaw's from Kiatoa Club. And Bellis from Aramaho.
Didn't look happy with that one out of her hand, Rain Bellis, but we'll see where it ends up. She's had perfect green twice. How's this third bowl? And I think there we see there's just that slight grimace, wasn't it, when she let it go? Maybe overplayed that.
Still, it's not a wasted bowl, you would suggest, with and possibly cuts down Grimshaw's options too, doesn't it, with Bellis having that very back bowl.
Absolutely sort of narrows it down. I think Natasha, I mean, she just looks like she's just going to be trying to draw the shot here. And when it is first to 21 points, you do have a bit of breathing space at the beginning, John. You don't have to go out all guns blazing in the first few ends.
We should like that to be a bit past, a wee bit further over, because that's a usable bowl for Grimshaw. She's quickly onto it on the forehand. Opportunity to use the inside edge of that bowl or to sit on it, and she's going to make contact, and she's going to sit that bowl out and just settle in for second shot. So she saved one there.
It's a lovely bowl, really, from Natasha Grimshaw. She played it nearly to perfection.
Is she going to measure for second as well? Is she?
The finger measure, the trusty finger measures.
Yeah. Gosh. Oh no, she's just gone back again. So probably the words of someone she knows well ringing in her ears. Hey. If it's
the man having a sandwich.
Finger measure is not as accurate. Yeah, get down and measure it.
So Natasha's bowl, there, the speckled one. Oh, it's in. So it was one to Reen Bellis there.
Yep. You know, you regard bowls as a summer sport, and all the centre singles, champion of champions singles, would have been played in the summer season. The calendar is so full, but we have got these wonderful indoor centres that enable Bowls New Zealand to be able to schedule some of these events in the winter. And we've got the singles this weekend here in Hastings. We've got the pairs, is it next weekend? Then the triples are in Dunedin. And yeah, so yeah,
a good few weeks of bowls for both the players and the watchers, because of course all four events will be broadcast. You want that one back, John?
But that was about the length she put the jack up last time, wasn't it, on the previous end where her first bowl landed. She pushed the jack really deep this time, came back to the 2-metre mark. Nice steady platform when she delivers the bowl. Hand comes up in front of the face almost. She knows exactly what her line is. So both of these players have settled onto a good line reasonably early.
It is it's a slowish, I'd call it a slowish carpet green, John. I've played here a couple of times. Lovely and true, but if you lose focus for even a couple of seconds, that's how you get your short bowls, because you do have to push them to get them up.
Change of hands for Bellis.
Down to the weight. Needs a bit of running here. No, it doesn't. It needed to stop, John. What do I know?
Yeah.
Beautiful line.
So the chances there for her to flick off her own bowl, draw the jack, sit on the shot bowl, all would give her the shot, and
great stuff.
Yeah, she might find herself 2 down here now. So Grimshaw holding 2. Bellis comes up to have a look.
Didn't come very far up the green. She just walked halfway. I think we'll see her stay on her back end, John, which is to the right of the screen, and just make a small correction off her third bowl.
That's a sensible shot, I think, Alex. Yeah, she wasn't far off with her first. In fact, probably if she played the same line, she would sit on that right-hand back bowl of Grimshaw's. You can see her own one is just behind there, so doesn't need to change much at all. Just needs to make sure she's up here. Is it going to turn enough? Is she going to get the inside edge? She's getting nothing. So sails through, so we might well see Grimshaw in front. She has this last bowl to play. This is the third end.
So we hear some noise in the crowd. Someone must have played a good bowl. And Natasha here for 3. This is close, John.
Yeah, she can rest, can't she? Yeah,
That's
beautiful. Look at
stuff,
that. Great group. So a 3 to Grimshaw there, and she takes the lead in the race to 21 shots.
Beautiful end. I was just perusing the results, John, which can be found on the Bowls New Zealand website using Bowls Hub, and I can tell you that in the previous match, Reen Bellis was defeated by Jenny Anderson of the Picton Bowling Club, 21 points to 14, and Natasha Grimshaw was timed out in her game. She played Catherine McGoey from the Waihi Beach RSA Bowling Club and was defeated in that game 17 points to 16. So that must have been a mighty battle because it's a pretty reasonable time limit, and it must have all been 1s and 2s there. So Natasha Grimshaw will be trying to fight back after what must have been a very disappointing loss.
Looks like Jenny Anderson on the next rink, doesn't it, down the far end? But mind you, so there's some high quality players here. To get up and win your own champion of champions in any centre is a huge achievement, and then to go on and go further in this competition is absolutely great. So the women had 2 rounds this morning, but some, of course, had byes.
Mm-hmm. Of course, you've got as the I just about said the recently departed president, but that doesn't sound right. As the as the as the president of the Raumati Bowling Club, and you've escaped that and gone on to club captaincy, I believe. You have an entry in this, don't you, John? And Audrey
Yes,
Stevenson.
yeah. Really chuffed that Audrey is there. She's won her first 2 games this morning, so that's a great start. She has a bye in this round, and Audrey has been a remarkable performer. 61 centre titles, as well as a national singles title back in, I think it was 2007 or somewhere around there, and just continues to be a very tidy player who is. She says she's a bit, she's rejuvenated now. She said, I'm really keen. So she's got back any lack of eagerness she had, and she's into it. So she'll be chuffed to get a couple of good wins today.
Absolutely wonderful to see. And Reen just jogging after this bowl. These heads, they've been pretty good considering the fact that this is the third end we've seen around that. In for 3, I think, or we'll call it 2.5.
Yeah.
It's probably 1.
Well, it looks like 2, doesn't it, at least?
1 and a measure, down.
A 1 and a measure, there we are.
That's right. Is she on the kitty? No, about that much from the kitty.
So third bowl, trying to upset the shot that Ballas has, and now an opportunity for Ballas. You can see the opportunity there is to get inside that one by her left foot, that one of Grimshaw's. Now, to the right there, she might just favour herself in that measure, but who knows? So she's got the opportunity to draw another one in. And of course, any movement of the jack here, Alex, in particular to the right here, would bring that back right bowl into the play as well. But she'll be looking to make 2 out of this at least.
Yeah, and if she misses narrow to that, so that we've got the bowl at 12 o'clock, if that sits up and over 1.5 times, the jack's going to move anyway. So you're right, John, she'll be looking for 2. If you miss a bit narrow, you've got chances of a bit of fortune. But just make the 2 count, and whatever else happens is a pleasant bonus, I think, here for Reen.
Oh, look at that. She might just get that bowl to push it up. Oh, she was going to make sure of the measure there.
All right, let's see what
so certainly 1.
Yeah. I think probably 1. The cameras can be very deceptive, can't they, John, with these angles sometimes?
Ballas into the back pocket. Oh no, she's taken, so conceding 2, Natasha Grimshaw.
So that was... Where's our
2.
little lollipop person? 2 there.
She's way down there. Yep.
Peter Ballas watching on.
Good timing by the marker to get there just as ejected.
The best thing anyone ever taught me with marking, John, was to fill the card in as you're walking, and then you don't forget to put the score down, which happened after I'd spent a game forgetting to put the score down when I was younger. so now I fill the card in as I'm walking, and it's a good little bit of knowledge there, I think.
And of course, protocol suggests that you do not fill it in while you're standing down waiting for the players to come up and view the head.
Correct.
Because, yeah, so you wait until they agree on the situation, and then you can start walking back and filling the card in.
Yeah. Even worse is if you put a winner on top halfway through the game. That wouldn't be good either. Look at this here from Natasha. Good bowl.
Yep. So quite a bit of correction needed on her first, as has happened on two of these ends for Reen Bellis.
Natasha Grimshaw again, I mean, coming in this direction, this is the way we saw Natasha score a 3 just 2 ends ago, and she's going about it as if she wants to draw another 3 here. Wanting it to hold. Not far away. Look at that. What a bowl.
Pretty good, hey?
Beautiful.
Down to that one, one down. The last How far from the kitty is it? Oh, about that much,
Natasha on the probe. Let's see. Oh, it's diving, John. I like that she went straight to that shot, though. There's no mucking around, is there? She thought, look, I can chip that bowl out. It's my 3rd bowl.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see if she does it again. And it'll be interesting to see what Bellis' reaction to that shot is. Whether she tries to, well, she's looking to draw another one or even draw off that shot of Grimshaw's and can settle for 2, and she's not a mile away.
Great effort.
Well,
dangerous now, isn't it, John?
Yeah, and so Grimshaw just comes down and has a look at the, you know, with the way the jack is, depending on how she hits it, it could rebound off that back bowl of Bellis's and go back up, which we've seen happen.
For 1.
Yeah. Or if she took her own out, back up there for 4. Here we go. Nice shot, just enough weight to nudge the jack over.
Oh,
that's some very good bowls. 4 excellent bowls there from these 2 players, Natasha Grimshaw and Reen Bellis.
Here's the replay, John. Look at this, just sat through it, absolutely perfect. Perfect weight, perfect green, perfect result.
So a single there, I think, for Bellis. She moves to 5-3 in front. Just watch out for her first bowl this time, Alex, and see if she's got the brain operating properly, brain and arm and everything, isn't it? You know, it's such a big deal when you're going on when you're on the mat and you're delivering. That weight is probably the thing that's going through your mind the most, isn't it, at the time? That's all, in fact.
Yep. Absolutely. And we talk about that first bowl effectiveness as well. And, you know, in a game of singles, if you can consistently put your first bowl very close to the jack, that's it's good stuff, really, because you're just constantly applying pressure. Just like this here from Reen, if it sits down, it'll just about be obscuring the jack for Natasha, and you think, oh, again? Another bowl close? It's intriguing game, really. How's the weight?
I think she might be snaring the jack.
Beautiful. That is a good first. Look at that for a first shot.
So with the jack moving slightly with Grimshaw's bowl, then Bellis has to be, you know, perfectly clear in her mind how far the jack moved and therefore how far short her first bowl is now. How much weight to add.
Not far away, John. If it stops, it's good. Something you'll see with these top bowlers is they ask very specific questions and expect very specific answers, I suppose, because they can make those corrections, can't they?
And also you'll often see players ask the marker, you know, who's got shot, and if the marker says it's a measure, then often the players, if it's in that right state of the game, and if they really want to, they'll come up and have a look for themselves because they trust their own eyes more than they're going to trust someone else. And most players have got great ability to gauge, haven't they, how far, who's got the shot in a tight situation. 2 excellent bowls here from Natasha Grimshaw.
Oh, interesting. Interesting head. It's looking pretty good for Natasha, isn't it, on this end? It's looking like she should be able to score a number because it's a tight two that she's holding, and there's not much of a target.
You're right, and she's on the same line.
Oh, a bit unlucky there, but still 3 excellent bowls.
And you say unlucky too because she has moved the jack slightly off the centre line, so Bellis will be able to see that now. It makes it not quite such a difficult shot to get to. I'm not sure that she'll be playing with much weight. She can't afford to be dropping a 3 here, so she needs to, picking the jack up clean would be fantastic. She has got the back bowl, but sitting in amongst those, eh?
Absolutely. On the backhand, she's had 3 goes at it. Her first attempt was better than her second one. How's the third going to be? She's leading 5-3.
Grimshaw's not even watching.
Yeah, rightly so. How's the weight, John?
Well, if her weight's good, she's got a great line, but her weight's not good. And so the line didn't matter. It doesn't count as a chance for a maximum on this end for Natasha Grimshaw to go into the lead again. She currently is down 5-3. She's holding 3.
Beautiful
She's looking
bowls.
to sit in amongst them again. Yeah, very good.
Beautiful. Just beautiful. That's 4 exceptional shots, isn't it? You won't see better than that.
Don't bother kicking the bowls back, Reen. Just leave it. I'll put the mat down right here.
Good system.
Mark is going to have to hurry this time, though.
Just picking up her pace a little bit.
Yes,
Too many things to do, John, with the 4 lollipops.
Yeah. Card on the other hand, pen falling. Now the board. Then turns around to see if she needs to bring out the chalk. It's a busy life being a marker.
Now, Reen's first bowl will be intriguing to watch. It's going in the other direction, the one we've just seen. She's been fine, but coming up this way, the first bowl's been short a bit. Maybe up or downhill. You find that sometimes on these carpet greens. Let's see. That's pretty good weight-wise, isn't it?
Yep. It's quite a loose one there from Natasha Grimshaw, particularly after that last end where she put 4 within, gosh, half a metre of the jack.
Perfect, really.
Yeah.
Oh, this bowl needs to hold or swing. Never quite looked like it had the right line, that one, did it, John? You could just tell it was going to run out of oomph.
This is a better line from Grimshaw. To get around that short bowl of hers.
So did you say those
might have
speckled white bowls, John, those ones of Grimshaw?
Yeah.
Or pinkish, greyish things?
Well, yeah.
Easy to
Speckled
spot.
good enough, eh? Yes. Yes.
Speckled works.
Yep. Marker indicates Bellis has 2. So she's come 2 shots being narrow and under that short white speckled bowl. So this time she corrects that green. And if her weight's good, she's going to sit on that jack for a 3.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Great stuff there. Incredible, really.
Opportunity though for Grimshaw. Her back 2 bowls, as you see, weren't far off the target where she wants to be this time. She sailed through again, but it might have just cut out those other 2.
She might have been enough there.
Yeah.
And if it is enough to cut out, you'd think Reen would be looking to rest on that last bowl, wouldn't you, John? Just to rest it out for potentially a 4.
A bit of a grimace. I'm not sure that she's too keen on it. No, she's going to collide. No backdoor job this time. So 1 was enough. 1's better than none, and it certainly is a single there to Reen Bellis, who now trails by just the 1, 7-6. Oh, don't speak too soon.
Oh. We've just made a sweeping statement.
Yeah.
Right, so she's measured Natasha's and now going to her own. Just keep an eye on the tip. Doesn't look like it's made it, so I think just the 1. Yeah, well called, John.
I'd already written it on my scorecard here. I didn't want to mess that up.
We spoke about not writing it on the scorecard. Oh dear. Here we go. So this direction last time, Natasha Grimshaw would have drawn 4 bowls within 6 inches of the jack. Maybe a foot if we've been generous. So Reen will look to throw a different length to that, and she has thrown it quite long. Has it gone past? Yeah, look, the jack's back on its way. So just to explain that to viewers who may be tuning in and haven't seen much lawn bowls or don't know the rules that well, if the jack is overthrown, which means if it goes into the ditch or outside of the rink mark, the jack gets sent back, which is that orangey yellow thing, and the opposition delivers it to where they would like. So it's exactly what Reen was hoping wouldn't happen on this end, I think has.
Well, I don't think the jack's much different to what she was hoping for anyway. She was hoping for the 2 metre, and that's
anyway.
Not far off. That's suitable. Yeah, it's where the mat is, of course. It changes it. So these players are experienced enough, aren't they? It doesn't get into people's heads at this level very often where the mat's placed or where the jack is, what the length of the particular end is. They soon get into the groove.
Yeah, it's a lot about comfort, I think. It's interesting. It's always intriguing if you watch a lot of the 1 to 8 year events. The mats are usually placed on the 2 metre mark on both greens.
Yep.
Like you look and the mats are just there. And sort of the longer you play bowls, the less people put the mat directly on the 2 and the more they tend to just vary it around a little bit. It's quite interesting.
I thought that concept of the super singles the other day was quite good in that the jack was permanently positioned. But you're right, there were occasions where players who were struggling a wee bit would haul the mat out and make it quite a short end. And there are lots of stories, aren't there, Alex? I heard one just recently where, I think it was in Aussie, wasn't it, where one of the top players, was it Aaron Sheriff, was behind by 20-8 or something, and then he got hold of the mat and he just made it short, and the opposition player just fell to bits basically, and he ended up losing that match after having such a handy lead. So it can work, can't it? And sometimes it's the only option you've got when you're struggling. Oh, well, I don't really like a short end myself, but I'll take the mat up and hopefully it'll upset him as well.
Yeah, precisely. Even if you're struggling, if the opposition is nailing it on one length, you may as well move the length and see what happens. And while we've been talking, look at this head that Reen Bellis is building up. Natasha Grimshaw's put 3 bowls in the same place, but it's not where the jack is. Reen holding at least a 3. It's interesting, Natasha doesn't watch the bowl. You pointed it out a couple of minutes ago, John, and I just noticed it again.
Yeah, Yeah, in fact, it looked like she was having a conversation with one of the people on the next rink at one stage. Oh, this is a wasted ball from Reen. She was obviously expecting that Natasha will play with weight, and she's got a big grin on her face down there thinking, uh-oh, wrong thing to do there. Right idea.
When's
I don't
it
think
turn? I
she's
don't
going
think
to
it's
get
going
here
to turn
again.
in time.
No.
Look at that, 4 bowls in the same place, but just that little bit past the jack, and it'd be disappointing for Natasha.
So a 3 there to Bellis. You see the scoreboard up on the top left as we have a look at the replay of the third bowl from Bellis, which just compounded Grimshaw's problems. So she goes to 9-7 up now.
And the jack thrown long again. Very long.
Oh.
It's interesting. Just giving the marker some practice in delivering the jack.
yeah, that's right.
Is what I would say.
Yeah, Natasha Grimshaw has disappeared off the... Here she comes, marching back. No need to hurry. Quite a few people have turned up now, drifting along to stand behind the camera, so they know that when the camera's facing their way, they'll be on shot. You see some of the other games in action there.
Great stuff. Wonderful facility here at Club Hastings, John. There's attached to it the chartered club, so with a kitchen and a hydration station.
Yeah.
So it's a fantastic space for a bowling club to be, really, isn't it?
Oh, and every centre looks with envy at this facility here, and you know, the one in Nino, the one we used in Auckland when the weather went against the national championships up there. Dunedin have got an outstanding indoor centre, and I know there's lots of clubs talking with each other in various centres to see what they can do. Very expensive to put forward, and therefore you're sort of hoping that maybe council will see the advantages of it to the businesses around. That's a very good start there. After dropping a 3 on the last, Grimshaw starts with a beauty.
Rain on the back end.
So I'm just looking at that, and the viewers can, while you're watching, get onto your phones or laptops and check the scores of the other events that are on, the other matches. And I'm just looking at some of the round 1 games. Nicole Toomey beat Carol Hawes at Stokes Valley against Gisborne, 21-12. Brian Atkinson of Paratutu beating Marilyn McLeod of Tapuki, 21-6. And we saw Julie Adams of Belfast Bowling Club beating Sharon Leonard, 21-20. Gosh, close one there. And knowing Sharon Leonard, she would have been seething at the end of it. Lindley O'Callaghan of Alexandra beat Dale Rowe of Featherston, 21-9. Janine Noble from Takaro, Manawatu, beat Waikiwi Bowling Club's Shirley Jennings, 17-11. Val Smith from Nelson beat Raywin Rennell of Manarewa, 17-14. And then, oh gosh, good shot there.
Far away.
Elaine McClintock of Bowls Orewa beat Gayleen Kanawa of Parongia by 21-18. So watching now, Natasha Grimshaw Playing that open hand, holding one, covering that back bowl, if that was her intention. Not quite.
I think she'll be happy-ish with that. And Elaine McClintock, of course, John, known as Pinky McClintock because of the, I'm not sure if she still has pink bowls, but she used to have pink bowls, so colloquially known as Pinky. Which I always thought was I quite enjoyed that nickname. I thought it was a good one.
Oh, nice fine line here, hitting her own. Will push the shot bowl out. Doesn't get it.
Oh, goodness gracious me.
Fraction. Good intent there from Reen Bellis. Just to hit her own bowl, which is just short of the jack, onto the shot. Would have stayed there for shot and maybe more. You never know. Here comes the last bowl of this end. We've played 8 ends. They don't count, of course. Oh, she doesn't want to do the job for her. No, she's well short. So a single there to Grimshaw. And it's now 9-8 in favour of Reen Bellis. First to 21, of course. Audrey Stevenson Ramati beat Jenny Taylor, Kerry 21-4 in the first round this morning. They started at 8 o'clock, and the rest of the players had, they had buys. I think, did the men get a sleep in or not? I don't know.
Oh, they must, maybe. I certainly would have had it. 8 o'clock's fine if you've had your coffee early enough.
Yeah.
Of course, we did say it was to 21 points, John, but it's also 21 points or 2 hours, so it's a 2-hour time limit at this event, so that's why some of the scores you read out, you had a winner on 16 or 17 points because the time's run out on them if the game's whole lots of ones.
So round 2, Julie Adams Belfast beat Dale Rowe Featherston 21-6. Raywin Renal of Manarewa beat Shirley Jennings Waikiwi 21-6. This is second round games this morning. They started at 10:20. Then we saw Carol Hawes and Gayleen Kanawa, a close game, 21-16 to the Gisborne player. Toomey beat Jenny Taylor, 21-7. Bellis was beaten by Jenny Anderson of Picton, 21-14, as you mentioned earlier. And then another of those timed out games featured Natasha Grimshaw, whose bowl has just come to a stop there, losing to Catherine McGaughey, is it? McGaughey of Waihi Beach
from Thames Valley.
17-16. Yeah.
Just a junior bowler as well, I think, the Thames Valley, the Waihi Beach player. I think she might be in her second or third year of bowl, so she's done well to get to this stage of the event.
Yeah, there's some outstanding juniors, aren't there? Even again, going back to that super singles, which was year 1 to 8 last week. You know, men and women involved, and some of the 2 second-year bowlers were just, playing extraordinary stuff. Audrey Stevenson Ramati or Kapiti Centre beat Bri Atkinson of Paratutu 21-15. Another timed out one was Marilyn McLeod Te Puki beating Elaine McClintock 18-17. And then others such as Val Smith, Janine Noble and so on had buys in round 2.
Yeah, so I think the way it works, John, is every player plays 2 games per day, and you play 4 overall. If you win 3 out of 4, you make it through to post-section, so that's the equation. You can afford to lose 1 game of section play. Reen trotting on after this bowl, either underneath it or around it. It's good for Reen Bellis.
Oh,
probably in for one, do you think?
I think so, but this would be the scratchiest head we've seen. The men haven't played games yet. Their first round is at 3, and we'll be featuring a match between Morris Symes and Craig Tinker, starting at 3. This is
That'll be a very good game.
Yeah.
Unbelievable how loose this head is. If we think back to just what feels like about 4 minutes ago when we saw 8 bowls within a tea towel of the jack.
This is interesting, and how deceptive the coverage is. She's measuring that bowl to the side, in a measure, I would say, yeah, with those other two. So maybe that's an indication of how far short they are. Peter Bellis smirking up the back there, just he's saying, I can tell from here that it's, what the situation is.
Absolutely.
Right.
Yeah, I think that bowl to the left, the one at 9 o'clock's level with the jack, isn't it? And the two at 12
Yep.
are a bit short. So Reen's probably one down to the one at 9.
And doesn't want to be too down by being narrow here and pushing up that other bowl. And go one up by pushing your own up, not going to reach. Well, so there we've got the most unimpressive end of the lot, having seen a 4 and 2 3s in this game. We've had some classic bowls, some really close heads, but now we see a measure for shot here. Bellis leading by 9 to 8 and the race to 21 shots or a 2-hour time limit. Grimshaw holding the jack. She thinks she's got it, I think. Holding the mat, I mean.
Had no intention of giving it away, I would say.
No.
Let's see here. The lollipop person.
Yep. That is that left-hand bowl. So one blue lollipop. The scores are tied all, 9-all here between Natasha Grimshaw and Reen Bellis in this third round match at the Somerset National Singles Champion of Champion for Women, being played at Hastings. Come along and have a look if you're at all interested in bowls or sport in general. Opening bowl of the 11th end here. And that's a good starter after that spread and loose last end.
Should be pleased with that. Reen will be looking to put one close too, John. You know, you have a loose end, and your loose end's fine as long as you bounce back from it. You know, if you can come back and go, oh, yep, I'm playing well again, it's not too much of a concern.
Well, she's remembered coming this way last time, and she had 3 narrow bowls, didn't she? She got the shot by virtue of a backdoor draw, but they were all breaking that centre line quite early. So look at that, she's right on the centre line here.
Good ball.
But 2 down. So 1 to Grimshaw.
On a good line. Down to the weight.
If she moves the jack. If she moves the jack, she's got 3. Oh, she's got 2 anyway.
Still a good shot, isn't it? And Reen is there. She's got 2 bowls that are short of the jack at 12 o'clock, so she can't really be super duper aggressive here.
She's going to come up and have a look. Oh, she's gone that narrow. Looking to sit the shot bowl, I would say, and stay.
The one positive for Reen is her bowl looks like it stayed in bounds, didn't it, John? So if she does connect, there'll be a bowl there to catch it. But Natasha Grimshaw, that's a beautiful shot, isn't it? She's just covered where the jack's going.
Yep.
decisions.
What would you be looking at, Alex?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think for Reen, she's got two options. You either play with the same weight that you've just played with and try get the jack all the way back, or you're drawing second shot. I'm not sure. I have no idea which one I'd go for, but that's her two options,
Yeah.
John. That's all I can tell you.
Yeah, and even just resting that shot bowl out, she could stay, couldn't she? So, you know, if she just draws onto that shot.
I think there's
Sits
less
there.
danger with less weight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
On the forehand.
Just got to have that green right. That green doesn't look too bad, does it?
Giving it a real chance.
In the zone, isn't it? In the zone. Sit that shot bowl. Take
What
it
a
with
bowl.
you. Wow, beaut.
Absolutely
that makes you walk
magnificent
down
shot.
to the head a bit quicker.
Great stuff. Watch a replay of that one. Look at this, absolute perfection. Little feather off the shot pole onto the jack. Lovely bowl there from Reen Bellis.
Oh, she hasn't ditched it again, has she? She has. She's standing up there with her
She
arms
might have.
wide. Yep, 3 in a row.
All I would say in Reen's defence, John, is that in these indoor facilities with the yellow jacks, they are a bit heavier than the normal outdoor jack, and they do run a bit further than you might think. So that might have something to do with it if I was looking for a reason. This is interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, it ran further than I thought. I thought we were going to see a short end for a second, John. I was waiting for the jack to stop.
I don't think the mat's out very far either, is it?
No, it's
So
not.
it's
This is a long end.
sort of end that you'd think Bellis will be comfortable with the way she's been pushing that jack down. Yeah, the mat's fairly well back. Look at Grimshaw chatting away there to marker on the other rink and not watching Bellis's bowl until it gets towards its destination.
And
Now
that's
she
not
walks
bad.
in and picks up her own bowl.
I think we've just seen a game completed to our left, John. I see a 20 on one side. So that'll be, what was either Thames Valley or something Marlborough maybe.
Yeah, I think Picton, that was Jenny Anderson playing in that rink next door. I've gone off my list of the draw here, so
It sounds about right. I think I saw her. We did mention
Yeah.
that we could see her out to the side.
Yes,
so I think
yeah.
that might be a win. At the risk of
Marlborough.
misinforming people, I think it might have been a win to Jenny Anderson there over the Thames Valley.
oh, well, it's not just a win, I think, Alex, from what we hear.
Yeah. Just wanted to get off the rink as fast as possible, obviously, as we can see
Yeah,
Reen
that was
Bellis here on the
against,
back end. Good shot.
Yep.
So is that.
Yeah.
Beautiful two bowls, really, from Natasha Grimshaw. Holding the one, so Reen is in for second.
Your bowl. Natasha.
It's quite difficult to
Decisions
see, isn't
again.
it, sometimes?
Yeah. So she's trying to figure out if she's going to play her backhand or her forehand here.
How much height? Is Reen's bowl level with the shot bowl? Yes. Yes.
So she can play that backhand that she's playing with confidence.
Yeah. And she's following this one up just to have a proper look. So
Yeah.
she's just trying to figure out where the jack was in relation to everything, John, and she's close here. Reen Bellis, close here to folding that bowl out. What a shot there from Reen Bellis.
Oh,
Beautiful.
another lovely. Doesn't need to ask questions now.
It's hard with all of them.
One down. Is she high or low to the kitty? Yes. She's half a bowl, like high. Half a bowl high.
When's it going to turn, John?
Don't think so. She might. Yeah, the danger there is that she might just flick that other bowl of Bellis's in. Could work to her advantage, but that's not what she was looking to do. So Bellis has got the back bowl. She's holding one. She's had a good look. She knows what the situation is.
So, what would you
You'd
do?
You'd be playing slightly narrow to rest out that second shot, wouldn't you?
I think so.
On the backhand. Yeah. Danger of that, of course, is that you pick up the jack and move it back to two opposition balls. So she's playing exactly
Never think about
the opposite to what I was thinking. I'd be trying to draw another shot somewhere.
So that
she
was
hasn't
more of
played
an
that hand.
cover.
Yeah.
Just died out in the rough. So we're going to see aggression here from Natasha Grimshaw, do you think, John?
Well, she did with the last.
She almost wants to chip that bowl out clean rather than get the jack, because if the bowl disappears, you get two.
Yep. On the forehand. Just a wee push through. Is she going? Looking for that shot, trying to take it out clean. Stay there would be great because she'd get two, but she's going to miss it.
Great effort. Beautiful effort, really. So we see this replay. Look at this. This is perfection here from Reen Bellis. 1, 2, and onto the jack.
So this won't be a maximum length jack because she will try and not put it into the ditch.
I would say so. Yeah, well called.
It probably felt to her like it was going to be minimum distance, you know, when she let it go, but at least she gets the feel of it now. Here she goes, continuing to play this side of the rink. Forehand one way, backhand the other. Yeah, an encouraging start with that opening bowl of end number 13. As we know, ends don't count, but it's quite interesting just to have a look and see if there's been any part in a match where there's been a significant change. And, you know, I'm often referring back to say, well, on that 13th end when you dropped a 4, that was pretty much the end of it, wasn't it? And they always need reminded of that when you're talking to them afterwards. Now that looks like Jenny Anderson standing way up in the doorway there. So yes, her game has finished with a 21-1 victory over McCaughey.
Jenny Anderson, of course, one of the stars of that Bowls 3-5 televised league. So she must only just be out of her junior years, I think. John, and good to see her having some success.
Yeah, she's certainly, I get onto the Picton Bowling Club Facebook page and keep up to date with what's happening there, and the Marlborough Centre, and you see her standing up to the left of that opening in the doorway. So you sort of sense that there are some players starting to emerge, don't you, after 3 rounds of play? All of them have played 2 games, I suppose, after this, haven't they? Yeah.
Yes, they will have, and we'll be able to see, of course, if you want to check it out yourself, just go to the Bowls New Zealand website or Facebook page, and it's all available there. And the results are on Bowls Hub Aotearoa. You can see everyone is gone and who they're playing as well. As we see Reen Bellis. Oh, unlucky. That's an unlucky shot.
So when we're looking at that information then, Alex, when Natasha said, is that bowl jack level? Marcus said, no, it's jack high. I mean, there's room for sort of a bit more information, isn't there? And sometimes it's, if the front edge, or in this case when you're looking at it from the mat, the back edge of the bowl is at the back edge of the jack, then that's still regarded as, you know, jack high, isn't it? So, some of the umpires have said there's no such thing in law as jack level, but I think we all understand what we mean by that.
Yes.
Oh, what a shot.
It's a slice of heaven, as they say.
Yeah.
Reen will be happy with that result. But she was near. So no, there's no... New Zealand seems to be the only country that says jack level, and I think it's because we're full of common sense people, John. It makes sense.
Yeah.
So you say something's jack level, whereas overseas, jack high is what we would call jack level, and it's all very confusing. But we know what we mean when we talk about jack high, level, and low.
Yeah, we'll come up with a whiteboard one day and give an indication of it.
Explain it to the overseas players.
Well, that'll be because you've
chip
got
it out.
a good, not a mile away.
She's close. She's close. She's going to chip it out.
And might have been unlucky in that Bellis's bowl went on a bit closer to the ditch, or did it?
I think I'll take a stab at one to Natasha here, I reckon.
Okay.
Jack's slightly to the left as we see it. I've been wrong many times before, so we'll wait and see.
Yeah, it is. You're right.
Natasha right in behind the cameras. Be careful. Oh, I thought we were going to see a media ball go there, John. So here's a replay of Reen's bowl, flicking the jack behind her bowl that's sitting flat there. Then Natasha thought, well, I've got second, third and fourth shot. Try and chip it out. And she's got it dead square. Look at that.
And see where Bellis's bowl went. If it hadn't collided with that one, she would have had shot.
Absolutely. So we're going to get to see a string measure here, I think, John. That's the measure that is used for the long measures. They're going to, the bowl you see to the left of your screen, the far left of your screen will be measured to Reen's bowl. That's at 6 o'clock to the jack. Right. Everyone's offering to help, so that's good. Right, something.
Too many hands, what is it? Too many hands spoil the broth or something?
Something like that. Right, so
then you have an argument. You have an argument about who holds what in because one doesn't want to get down that far. I'm all right getting down, it's getting up. It's a real bugger.
That's the challenge.
Yep.
Right, so he's locked it in. And going around to Bill Smoothy, here he is. What a wonderful name. From Natasha's bowl to Reen's bowl. Might be a 2.
Needs to do it again, eh? And that's, umpires will always say, you can't just settle for one measure, you've got to do it twice. Yep, it is a 2.
2, so it's all square again, John, 11 apiece.
Thank you, Ron.
Very efficient job there with the string measure, Bill Smoothy.
On the mat is Natasha Grimshaw, Kiatoa, Hawke's Bay representative, against Reen Bellis of Aramaho from Wanganui.
Oh, the marker
This is the
hasn't
third
caught up
round
to
of
the jack
women's.
this time. Doing a wonderful job.
What is the score? 11-all.
Wow.
Now this is when, if you're Reen Bellis, you want to draw a toucher, don't you, John? You know, your opposition just fades that little bit. You want to go, right, here I am.
It's a pretty good green.
No, 12:40. We started after 12. Couldn't be 11.
Well, from here, it both looks as though they had perfect green, but in fact, one was playing forehand and the other backhand. And Grimshaw's didn't move much at all from a narrow line. Here she goes now, trying to atone. Might just sit on the Bellis bowl and knock it forward. No, she slides past.
Yeah, good correction, really.
So Bellis played
And
the
Reen,
forehand for one
yeah.
shot coming this way last time and was very wide, so it's sort of virgin territory for her because she hasn't really played out there, but she's remembered what she did last time. She's brought the line in a little bit, and that's heading in a right reasonable direction, but still 2 meters short.
Agonising, isn't it? When you know you've got your perfect line, but you're just that little bit short.
Oh, a feather there and onto the jack. Yeah.
That's gone well. Beautiful weight she had, to be fair. Absolutely perfect shot, or perfect result.
That's not bad, is it, Alex?
No, not bad at all here. Reen Bellis, little tap of that bowl. Oh, desperately unlucky, but a great shot. Where it's finished is perfect, isn't it? Because if the jack gets tapped back there, it's great for Reen. Natasha just stacking the head up. Got to be
Doesn't want
careful
to
here
punch
not
the
to tap
jack
it too
back
hard.
much. No.
Oh. Oh,
It's
dearie
amazing
me.
how far the jack can go in a collision like that, isn't it? It'll spring back a metre at times, even with what was a reasonably gentle weight there.
Absolutely, because
So
it
it's
was
opened it
touching
up.
that bowl. She'll be so disappointed with that result, John.
Yeah. The potential for a 3 there was obvious, and she would have thought that it was certainly in her grasp, but a touch too much weight. So
Reen back to
backhand
that
now.
trusty side. Certainly has been the favoured side of the rink for Reen Bellis, hasn't it, John? Just up and down.
Yeah. Ooh. Bit of luck required
Oh.
here. Well,
Pretty
she's
mangled.
yeah, that's right. Well, at least it's second shot, if in fact that is the shot at one of Grimshaw's. So, yep. So one shot to Grimshaw. She goes back into the lead. The seesawing race to 21 has gone from 4-3 after 4 ends to Bellis, to 7-6 after 7 to Grimshaw, to 8-9 to 9 all to 11 all And will it be 12 all after this end? Very close match.
It'll be interesting. We'll have to keep one eye on the time as well, John. I think we started at about 12:40 and it's now 1:40, so they've got, say, 55 minutes left of time in this game. And with the low scoring that we've seen at only 12:11, I wonder if we're going to see time be a factor as well.
Yeah, so we've had 1, 2 threes, a 4 and a couple of 2s. So of the 23 points we've got up there so far, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 multiple ends, scoring ends. So 3 into 5, 9, 12, 14 points and multiples on the various ends we've had. Oh, there we go. A nice couple of shots here for Grimshaw. Tracking well, this one from Bellis. Oh.
Oh, great effort. Little feather again. Maybe counting as 3. Certainly 3 bowls that are within cooey of the jack.
Bellis on the march after this. No, not the march, she's on the jog. She's gone a bit wider this time and a bit heavier.
Oh, I hope we haven't done a commentator's curse situation here, John, talking about how low scoring this game's been for the last
Yeah.
while.
Yeah, we had a 4 on the 6th, Alex, and then it's been singles. Oh no, a 3 on the 8th it was too. So, but we've now to playing end 15, and this is going to be at least a 3 in the making.
Right, so 1 bowl left for Marine Bellis here to salvage this situation. What do you do here, John?
Well,
I've got no suggestions.
this is where you close your eyes, I think. But she wasn't far. Her intention, I mean, if she can move the jack, obviously she'll get. She's got her 2 back here. She could get the jack and run it back. But that back bowl of Grimshaw's is ideally placed.
It'll be interesting.
And if she's already 3 down, would you play the other hand, come down her forehand side and play into those shots? I don't know, because you're already 3 down. There's nothing to lose there. I think she'll go backhand though.
Yeah, there we go. You can see it with the bias. She looked at the forehand side, and I think she'll be thinking, oh, I've already played the backhand. This is a big bowl. Doesn't look thrilled with it, but that doesn't mean anything. How's the weight, John?
No. Oh,
How's the weight?
She shouldn't feel too bad about it.
It's still going. It's still going. What a bowl!
She might have pulled one out of the box here.
Out of just, wow. That's a great bowl. It's got to be one to read.
She'll be feeling a lot better now than she was just before she delivered it.
Yeah, and even afterwards, because she didn't look that chuffed with it, did she, when she let that bowl go? Natasha doing the honours of the measuring. Has Reen done enough? That is the question. Doesn't look like it, based on that.
So. I'm not sure.
Might be very close.
Going back again. Or we might get the umpires involved, but they don't really want to. They want to make a decision themselves. A little
Just
pointy
get it set
thing
on the
touching
tape.
the jack.
Oh, it looks... Oh, Reen just conceding the one there, I think. That's pretty good sportsmanship. That would have been an easy head to call an umpire on.
Yeah, yeah. Well, what a save, though, from Reen Bellis. She was looking down the barrel of 3 at least, and she almost drew the shot. When you get to a tight measure like that, she almost played the perfect shot. 13-11.
Great game to start our broadcasting off for this Champion of Champions singles series. I think the mark is getting tired as the game progresses, John. I think that's what's happened. And it's been going for a while, so it's fair enough.
And it's a role which requires concentration too.
Oh,
You know, it's quite easy, and I've been caught out looking at another game, you know, and sort of admiring some bowls that were going on next door, and suddenly you hear someone say, could you mark that for me, chalk that? Oh, I didn't even know you'd played it.
So we see Reen Bellis on the back end now. How's the weight on this bowl? That's the question. Enough for the shot, but she would have liked it maybe short of a gallop there.
And if normal singles competitions or anything to go by, probably there's a few markers doing a lot of games, Alex. So, and what people try to do is get the players who aren't playing to mark, but not quite the same in a championship. There we are, lovely bowl by Grimshaw.
Yeah, Club Hastings has done a wonderful job and getting themselves ready for this event, and will have organised a lot of the bits and pieces here. How's this here from Reen Bellis? Look at it get back to the head, just past.
I think tomorrow morning's match at 10:20, Alex will have Val Smith and Janine Noble. That'll be of interest. Val Smith Nelson, Janine Noble, Manawatu representatives. I've got Joe Edwards joining us, so she knows a little bit about Val Smith, doesn't she?
Just a little. Might have something to say. Natasha, watching this one with absolute intent. I mean, I don't think we've seen a player be more than about 2 points ahead. And Natasha is now 13-11 up, holding 3. She'll be thinking, oh, maybe this is the end. I can just get that little break, that little bit in front. Reen has shown she has what it takes, doesn't she, John? And just facing these situations with no worries at all.
Yeah, she's had to play some touch bowls, pressure bowls. You can't keep on doing it though. That's the thing, isn't it? It's very hard to keep on producing a quality bowl with your last to save a situation. And but she's good enough. She can do it again.
And it's going to have to.
Yeah. Do you think she'll play her favourite side again? And
I think so.
There's a bit of traffic in front of her, but it's good mark for her. She's got to be around that short bowl of her own. Yep, there she goes, using the backhand. She's played this consistently well. Her green's been good in these 3 bowls that she has. It's just been her weights let her down.
Oh,
she might get
not
tied
sure
up.
She's done it.
No.
more the weight there, John, than anything else. And
Yeah.
it's a break for Natasha Grimshaw. She is going to go, I think that's a 3, isn't it, on this head?
Yep, yep. I think it looks like 3 in the hands of the marker, who's anticipating the jack coming down now, glances to her left, sees it, stops in a pretty much exactly the right spot. 3, 3, 3. Now, I've got to find the card, fill that in, turn around just in case I need to chalk this, change the board, and jump back into my spot close enough so that I can hear any questions that come to me. She would have had to watch that all the way too, Alex. You were thinking that might be chalk.
Rain Bellis looking to bounce back now. It's a good first bowl. So she's trailing by 5, which is more than what you can score in one end. So Reen will be thinking, just need to try and peg it back. Natasha, conversely, is on 16 points in a race in 21. So if she can score on maybe 3 more ends, that should be getting her pretty close to a checkout score. So slightly different psychology's going on here now.
So just looking through some of the other results from this round, Alex, Jenny Anderson picked and did win against Catherine McGaughey of Waihi Beach. Nicole Toomey has beaten Shirley Jennings. That's Toomey of Stokes Valley, that's Wellington, and Shirley Jennings of Waikiwi by 21-7. So those 2 games completed. Briar Atkinson of Paratutu's beaten Dale Rowe of Featherston 21-6. So those are the only other matches completed. Oh,
some beautiful
she's
bowls
in the
we've
zone
seen in this game. Yeah. So viewers may be watching and thinking that Medi gave perhaps more information than what was asked for. I can tell you that the rules around marking have been relaxed quite a lot in outdoor bowls, and it is encouraged that you show a little bit of common sense. So, for example, if Rain said, "Is the bowl touching?" in the old days, you were instructed to say no, and then wait to be asked how far away it was. Nowadays, you could say, "No, it's not touching, it's X far away." Oh, that was nearly went extremely well or badly, depending.
yeah, the badly would have been to take that bowl of hers out. The goodly would have been to get that just a faint edge as it looked like it was going to, and her own bowl would have slid across and sat there for shot with the jack. Yeah, I think that's absolutely great too, Alex. You know, we were always told you only answer the question. You know, am I holding shot? No.
Yeah.
Oh, you really want. So then you want to say which is the shot bowl, all that sort of stuff. So people just started to say what's the situation. But you know, it's a bit pointless in the mat if you sing out, am I 2 down? You know, that takes a big answer, doesn't it? You've got to say, no, you're not. You're only 1 you're 3 down, and then they say, well, which is the 3rd shot, and all that sort of stuff. So if you fire up a reasonable question and the marker can add information to it, just saves that conversation, doesn't it? Common sense, absolutely. Here she goes. Oh, again, not going to quite do it. But she does have 2nd shot.
A little bit of fading from Rain Bellis. It's now 17-11. And they started at 12:35. So they've got about 35 minutes left to go. So say 7 ends. If they keep going at the speed, it'll be interesting to see. Reen must be thinking you can't, or she can't really afford to drop another end, can she, John? Because she's going to need to score a few in a row to catch back up in time.
Yes, yep. Yeah, she hasn't scored for the last 6 ends. And in the meantime, she's dropped 5, 7, 8 shots. So, yeah, it's just been a bad period for her, really. And Grimshaw has taken advantage of it. Starts with another good one.
Reen on the backhand. That's
Yep,
a good
nice
first
response.
bowl. That's a great first bowl.
Yep. She's pushed Grimshaw over to that hand, which she hasn't played much at all. And for no reason, obviously, because she's handled it well. But that gives here with Bellis now playing that same sort of shot. If she just sits on those 2 bowls of Grimshaw's, that's a really handy bowl if she gets up to that situation. And she's not a mile away with that either.
Not far away at all here. Look at this here from Reen Bellis. That's absolutely just, isn't that just class? You're 17-11 down, you go bang, bang. That's great stuff.
Forehand run shot now.
No mucking around.
Oh,
She's not
no,
far
no.
away, John, look at this.
She's got it, yeah.
What a bowl.
Yep, pushes it out. I think. Or has it? No, I just saw that water
we'll
bottle
see
there.
that.
That's not the marker, so it's right on the edge.
And Reen having to recalibrate.
Yep. Just think you're throwing the jack, Breen.
Great bowls. It's been a good game, hasn't it, John?
I agree. Now the jack's gone a long way out to the left. So there's a big green calculation there, but not necessarily wanting to get it bang on the jack. You just wanted to get it in to be shot. There's a lot of room there, though, for Grimshaw, but often find, Alex, where you go a little bit too wide out into that unused territory, that there's not the same sort of draw. She's got a good weight here by the looks of it.
Gets back in, it'll be a good bowl.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
2 great bowls.
Running 1 down. Yes, I know. Just the one I think. Running 1 down. I know. Yeah, I don't know. Want to know where third shot is? Yeah, is it half? Is third shot me? Third shot's Carter. Yep.
Just wondering whether it's worth having a go at that shot, I think, isn't she, Alex? If she had third shot, she'd be definitely, but she hasn't. She's got second shot at the moment. If she had third as well, that would have been worth a wee crack. But she'll try
Such an
and
important bowl.
outdraw Grimshaw. She's in the ditch.
Oh dear.
So a good start to this end for Reen Bellis, but an excellent run shot from Grimshaw. She grabs the shot and now leads by 18-11. Here it goes.
Great bowl. And a good run of form from Natasha Grimshaw. I think probably Reen's just fallen off that smidgen, eh, John? You know, we've seen it. It's been a great quality game the entire time. I think Natasha's maintained that level, and Reen instead of playing 3 or 4 really good bowls, has had 2 or 3 really good bowls, and there's been some good towing from Natasha as well, but deserves that 7-point lead. And I think, what did you say, 7 ends in a row now Natasha Grimshaw has scored?
That's right.
And look at this. That's great stuff, isn't it?
Just an ideal start.
Of course,
One thing
we're
to be
hanging
sure
around.
of, though,
Sorry,
Alex,
John.
is that Reen won't have given this game away.
Oh, for sure.
Look
She
at
would
this.
have won games from this
Bang,
position
and you go.
before. Look at that.
Yeah.
Natasha.
Just always looked a little bit weighted, but it would have been perfect if she'd set that bowl. That's her big opportunity here. Grimshaw quickly on the mat. She doesn't mess around, quickly takes a green. Or in this case, doesn't.
Commentator's curse again.
Yeah. So Ballas now, her weight last time when the shot she's trying to play, I think, was pretty much ideal. Just rest the shot out. Settle for 2. She's got second shot. Oh, she's going to go under again. However, not
Needs
even a
little
wee
rub.
kiss or a wee kiss.
Just
Yeah.
about.
Yeah.
Feels like an important end, doesn't it, John? At 18-11, you feel like Reen will really, she needs to score on this end if she wants to have a chance at winning this game.
It's ruined it a wee bit for Ballas because there was definitely, if she was accurate, she would have the chance to grab a 3 out of this by just sitting on that shot bowl and staying there. She had the second and third shots. I don't think she has now. Might be a measure for second.
She's going to attack this, John. She just asked if that was the backest bowl. That means we're going to see aggression here.
We haven't seen any aggression from her, I don't think, have we?
Oh, maybe we aren't. Sorry, I've called that absolutely wrong. We haven't seen any aggression. We're not going to.
Well, look at this, though, eh? Oh, gee. So, when you look at that, Reen Ballas had 3 very good bowls, all, within, what, 3/4 of a metre of the jack. But the situation was that Grimshaw had one that was a lot closer. Or maybe 2. Let's see. Is she going to 19 or 20? So they were pegged at 9 all. Yes. 9 all, then they were 11 all. That was after 13 ends. And Ballas has not scored since. 11 all it was. And there was a 2 for Grimshaw, a single, a 3, another single, and last end a single. This one, is it 1 or 2?
I think just the 1, John. So 19 now. And they've got 20 minutes or 25 minutes left on the clock. course, at the conclusion of this game, we will be taking a very short break and then back at 3 p.m. approximately for the singles match between Morris Symes and Craig Tinker, which will be a good one. And as you mentioned, John, you and I will be joined by Mark Noble for that and commentary, which I'm looking forward to.
Great.
Every man shorty a word, so we should be home and hosed. Here we go. Bella's still plugging away. She hasn't given up here, and she won't.
Still there for Bellis to get around. Next up, Alex, I think we should get the markers to be allowed to give you a foot, you know. Marker, could you just put
Play
your foot
here.
where the jack is? Yeah, play here, and then could you just direct me through that gap? Thanks very much. And then it become a marker / skip.
What shall I do? I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. And could you play the bowl for me as well? Yes, if I like that. Good idea.
Depends who the marker is, I would suggest.
Yeah. Grimshaw's had a lot of success, hasn't she, Alex, over her career? She's really been one of the top women players for a while.
Yeah, absolutely. Always one to be watched out for, and has that full range of shots too. Natasha, and here at Hawke's Bay, she will have played on this carpet a number of times, and will be backing herself, I would say, to go deep if she can get this game and then the next two. Qualify for post-section, remembering both these players have lost a game already, so it's really a battle to stay in the hunt as we see Reen Bellis here on the probe just through the gap. There we go, Natasha on the back end. And holding game is she, John? Or does she not quite have the two that she needs? Hard to tell.
She has. Ooh, that might have just been enough. Although
beautiful, beautiful track.
Bellis is looking very closely. Well, she can either prolong it or she loses with this shot. Grimshaw's played her 4. You can see them all gathered, all just short of the jack too. Nothing over, which means that Bellis, if she was to play a sensational shot here and trail the jack, would get a 3. Let's see what she can do. Can she thwart Grimshaw in this hunt for 21 shots? She might just need a little slide off that, or she might take out her measure bowl, and that'll be it. And so you see Reen Bellis just pat Natasha Grimshaw on the back as they walk back. And the audience applauds. shaking of hands, and it is Natasha Grimshaw who has won this match over Reen Bellis. Natasha Grimshaw from Kiatoa in the Hawke's Bay, and Aramaho's Reen Bellis from Wanganui, and it is 21-11. A convincing win at the end after it had been a very, very tense game. Grimshaw 21, Bellis 11. We'll have a look at some highlights, and then we'll take a break as we wait our next game between Morris Symes and Craig Tinker.
Make someone's day. That's what we do when we don't make it. Yeah.
Think age is just a number. Love the life you choose at Somerset Retirement Villages.
We're coming to you live from Club Hastings, and it's the Somerset Champion of Champions singles competition continuing. We've had 3 rounds of women's matches, so all the women have played 2 games at least, and we'll be updating you on their 3rd round results as we go on with this game this afternoon. It's the first of the men's matches we'll be showing you. I'm John Macbeth. I'm joined today by Alex Reid and also by Mark Noble, who's here ready to go and give us his expert comments and opinion. This round we're going to be looking at the match between Maurice Symes and Craig Tinker. Just seeing the practice ends at the moment. And I think, Mark, a welcome to you, but it's these 2 players are both outstanding players, and you've seen plenty of Maurice Symes over the years, so you know exactly what he's capable of.
Yeah, Maurice is, what hasn't he done in New Zealand Bowls, isn't it? You name it, he's won it, I think. And Craig is more than capable of giving Maurice a tickle up as well, so it should be a really top game.
Oh, absolutely. I was just looking, reminding myself of what Maurice has done. I mean, if you're not too sure, he'll tell you anyway, won't he? But he was at the singles. He played singles for New Zealand way back in 1986 at the Commonwealth Games in Edinburgh. So that's how far back he goes, and he was one of the most prominent bowlers in this country for that, particularly that decade. But even now, of course, a couple of years ago down at Alexandra, he won the National Fours gold medal with Steve Beale and John Gray and Craig McDonnell. So he's a person you would never underestimate. I think he's been quite extraordinary. Yeah. So here on the rinks, you've played on them a few times, Mark. I'm just interested to know what your impressions of this green is, and any rinks in particular.
So on rink 1 where they're playing this game, the ditch hand going both ways is actually probably quite a kind hand. Coming back the other direction, the ditch hand is definitely the best hand to go to. So here the ditch hand's pretty much the go-to hand.
And I think Alex Reid, who's watching this as well and joining us for commentary, was talking earlier with me in that match between Grimshaw and Bellis in the women's competition. And we saw, didn't we, Alex, that Reen Bellis enjoyed that ditch hand all the time and played it almost constantly, didn't she?
Yeah, she picked it right from the beginning, Reen Bellis, and just stuck to that side. And look at this here from Maurice Symes, a front toucher on the forehand. And I think, as Mark said, we'll see the players go up and down sort of on that ditch side, which is unusual because usually the ditch hand is not the more favourable of the 2 on a green. So something a bit different there, but it's going to be a good game.
Well, if these first 3 bowls are any indication, it's going to be a perler. That's pretty good draw bowls first up. So it's got Maurice Symes just changing this time, and for obvious reasons.
Yeah, he's not bad again here.
Has he drawn another toucher?
Maybe a foot short.
Oh.
For most of us, Mark, that's pretty good.
That's pretty good head to start, isn't it?
Oh, isn't it? Yeah.
Here's got 5 inside a foot.
Rattle them up. Yep.
Good bowls.
I'll be interested to hear their comments. Are the players mic'd up? Alex, do you know, and the marker on this occasion? No, they're not. Okay, that's fine, but we'll hear them.
Look at this here. He's just trying to get mud in the eye. Do you have a nibble at that, anyone? Is there something is there anything to hit? And what sort of player? Do we know much about Craig Tinker?
I think you've got to be going for the edge of the black here on the ditch side. Sharp for the edge of black only. For probably 3. No, he might be going backhanded up. Should be attacking anyway.
Interesting, isn't it?
3 seconds and he's trying to draw. I'm not sure I understand that.
you'd be having a go.
Mark
So
would
Symes
open,
can
sure.
come. Symes can come around on his backhand and draw a second here. It's a bit tight, but he's sitting on the jack. He'll be keen to make it 2 and not leave it at 1. So that's 6 bowls, 7 bowls. 6 out of the 7 bowls are all in a great position. Look at that, all fit the mat over the top of them. Here he is, just trying to get round that white bowl of Tinkers. Not going to make it, and he'll settle in and be happy with that single, or satisfied with the single. So the first end, race to 21, or a 2-hour time limit. Maurice Symes, vastly experienced, starts with a single over Craig Tinker of Waikiwi.
So it'll be interesting to see which hand they both choose coming in this direction. You would think we'll still be on the ditch hand.
But we saw then, and you'd expect it, that Symes was able to play both hands pretty well. But he's always playing the open hand. Here we go.
Yeah, so our experiences have been on this particular rink is sometimes at this length it's quite hard to pick this side, so it'll be interesting to see how Morris goes on it. Pretty good by the looks of this.
Yeah. Oh, he was narrow, really, wasn't he?
Yeah. Well, I like what I see so far. Tinker is quick on the mat, no messing around into it, and gee, that's not a bad response, is it? So he's a bit short. Alex, he's very short, isn't he?
Short, yeah, absolutely. He'd be disappointed. I think we did see Craig Tinker. I think he reached either the quarter or the semi-final of this year's Somerset men's national singles. I remember him there on the last day of post-section of the singles play. So he's sort of pretty good singles form. Has won a lot of stuff in the Southland area. Usually the lead for Craig Merrilees in that very successful Peers partnership. Look at this. This is going to be a great game, guys.
Well, this is another example, Mark, of how, we've got 2 players here of, quite different ages. Morris has been an outstanding bowler since he was in his 20s, and now he's not in his 20s. It's just another indication of how long you can play bowls, and that constant reference to, it being an old person's game is... It is a sport for old people if they want to continue playing it or take it up at an age. But it's a young person's sport, it's a middle-aged person's sport, it's an older person's sport. And here's a man who's in his 70s who's just plonking them in there at the moment.
Yeah, I guess it's not very often you get to play a sport and play for your country and you're in your 60s, which has happened quite a bit in lawn bowls.
Absolutely. And there's not many sports in which men can compete equally against women. Well, some men would say they don't, but but there's no reason why in any given day the best women will beat the best men, and I know a lot of blokes are a bit unwilling to play against women because they don't want to get beaten, afraid of getting beaten. But
so our marker today is Tony Terry from the Hastings Hornets Club as well.
Oh yes.
A handy bowler in his own right, Tony. Just sort of helpful in a market, to be fair, because the questions get answered. Well, look at this here from Craig Tinker. If it holds just a smidge, not to be, that wasn't far away.
Just a single. So Symes with the red lollipops there.
So that's 2-0 in the race to 21.
Yep. Symes playing it long, down to the 2 metre. Mat's reasonably far back by the looks of it. So he's starting playing his forehand both ways.
It's unusual because I think if you were to do a poll of bowlers and say, oh, if you had to pick a hand that you favour, not many of them would say, oh, I'll go forehand round the clock. that's not usually the hand that bowlers would rather play around the clock, John.
No.
Another good start here from both players.
Yeah, you can understand backhand around the clock. I think a lot of people are quite keen to do that, but
Yeah.
in general you look at, well, it depends, doesn't it? Every game produces different decisions for a player. Here's another lovely one, just going the wrong way for him, but a great situation just over the jack. Some will just say, right, I favour this side of the green, so I'll play forehand one way, backhand the other. But in singles, of course, you've got to be ready to switch, don't you, Mark? It's one of those games where you can't feel more comfortable going one hand. You've got to be able to play both hands equally well.
Yeah, if we don't play both sides of the rinks, we're going to get beat. So
Yeah.
Morris looks like he should be reaching through the port a little bit here with a couple of feet, sort of bowl pole jack.
Greenkeeper extraordinaire. He's been coach of Fiji, hasn't he, in recent times? Oh, that was the weight he was looking for, and he stayed on, which is handy. Poor Tinker is very quick, isn't he?
Yep, he clearly just wants to get on the mat and get him down there.
Yeah.
Just sort of a way a lot of the Australians play.
Yes.
I still think Morris will reach this.
Yeah.
Plays a smart game, Morris Symes. Always gives his bowl every chance. And a lovely delivery too, really.
Yeah, just watch this now as he tries to come through that. Yeah, through that gap. That was probably a bit more weighted than he needed to be, but even so, he would have dragged the jack back. I always like chatting with Morris about bowls, and several times he's been in a commentary position with me, and I've asked him for impressions of a particular match or what shot might be played when you look at the obvious shots that might be played, and he, a bit like you, Mark, with your chess brain operating, but he will often say, no, that's not the only shot. If he can play here to there to there, and I think, I never saw that, Yeah, for a little bit of weight there, Craig Tinker. That would have been good for you, but you're one under measure, hauling out the measure already. Morris will concede that right-hand bowl. No. And certainly not mucking around chewing the gum either. That's not going to last long, that bit.
What's your go-to gum, John? I like a juicy fruit is the one I go for.
Do you? Yeah, well,
Oh,
no, it's that long since I've eaten it, but I ended up going from the sweet juicy fruit to the more bitter PK. Yeah.
Oh.
Do they still make that?
I'm not sure. I just get actually, to be honest, I don't even know if they still make juicy fruit. It's been some time for me as well. Have to ask Craig.
You're always told if you're playing rugby or whatever it might have been, you spit that out, mate, spit that out. If you swallow it, you'll choke, I thought that was about the sort of good advice that my mother used to give about, don't swallow the pips of the apple because a tree will grow inside your stomach.
Yes, yep.
Good start again here from Craig. It's right on the
Beautiful
ball.
bowl.
Morris close to landing the jack here.
Yes.
And does so.
Oh, this game's going to be top notch, isn't it?
just looking at the previous winners of this, Alex, thank you for that information. I see, way back 2003, so this is the 20th year, is it? Or been going 20 years? Stephen Tozer of Frankton Railway won it twice, 2003, 2004.
Yeah, it's been going for that long in one way or another. So I think there was a brief break.
Yep.
It used to be, if we wanted to go right back to the beginning, there was actually a champion of champion singles from the 50s onwards.
Oh, right. Okay.
I'll tell you who someone good was it from. He was from Wanganui. Keith Slight might have won that a couple of times.
Oh, yes,
so there's always been sort of a champion of champion singles of sorts. And in its current iteration, it's been going since about, I think, 2020-ish. But yeah, some great names on that, on the trophies and on the honours boards going back, John.
Yep. So I see Sean Scott won it in 2008. He's here again. McElroy, Pat Houlihan. Gee, yep.
Last year's winners here.
Yeah, Dean McMurchie.
Yep.
He's on the next door rink, isn't he?
Correct.
Robbie Bird and Tony Grantham and Dean Elgar, Sean O'Neill. Some big names there winning this event. Here we go, looking to make it 2, but not going to be there. So Morris Symes standing down there, can see it quite clearly where the jack is.
I actually think Morris might play with a bit of weight here on the forehand, try and set the ball through the gap clean for 4 probably.
Yeah, it's just it's a bit deceptive, isn't it? Those how far, whether those 2 bowls to the right, black bowls that Morris is coming up to, are they inside that back left of Craig Tinker's? It looks like it, doesn't it?
Definitely looks like 3 seconds.
Yeah.
And so there'll be no reason for Morris not to reach at that white ball. And if he's a bit wide, he pulls the jack for 1. So,
yeah.
He's also
and if he misses, he's 1 down. It's not a big loss.
So the reward is definitely worth it.
So we'll have Symes on the forehand, looking to rest out that shot bowl.
Looks under, doesn't he?
Doesn't he? Well under.
Yeah. Didn't let it go as nicely as he usually does. That weight was that's stiff. If he's knocked that in for 2, that's a bit more than unlucky, isn't it? That's not ideal. But he had beautiful weight just to fold that bowl out. We'll see in a second.
But no doubt the rewards were worth it on that shot, Mark.
For sure, like he sits bowl, he gets 4, he gets a jack, he gets a single.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he just didn't have the right weight for the shot. It's probably the biggest problem with that bowl. And it does look like 2 to Craig.
I think Symes actually signalled to Tony.
He did. He just wanted him to measure.
There was 2. Yeah.
Yeah. I quite like that for Morris. He's a wily competitor. He's been around for a long time. I don't mind it. And you think, that's probably 2, but I'll get you to measure it anyway. You may as well get up and down again. There's no harm in doing that, is there? There's no negative.
No. First to 21. This is our first men's televised match here from Club Hastings in Hawke's Bay. It's the champion of champion men's singles for 2023, proudly supported by Somerset. This live coverage coming to you through the fantastic Bowls New Zealand broadcast team. It's Morris Symes against Craig Tinker.
Morris is close here.
He's pre-chalked his bowl. And that, just about was why. Close.
Oh, that's a pretty good result for
good bowl.
Craig.
Yeah, yes. This is a bit like the first end we saw, isn't it, where they're jamming them in there.
Well, I think the hand they're playing you can just trust. It doesn't look like there's... Doesn't matter where you chuck it out there, you draw a shot.
Yeah.
Another great bowl from Morris.
Let's count. 1 second, 2. Wouldn't be more than 3 seconds on the mat. Very accurate as well.
If he's
See
got the
what
right
the
weight
weight's
here,
like.
he draws a shot. He's very close. How about
Beautiful stuff.
that? That's great.
Syme still has it, he says.
Heading
This
down the
one
right
come
way
back.
again here. This is close. There's 6 bowls within 18 inches. It's pretty outstanding.
That is. But still there for Tinker if he can produce another remarkable bowl. He's already put down 3 very good ones.
I'll
His
tell you
last
one thing.
only just.
One thing here, Johnny doesn't want to be narrow and tip the front black onto Jack for 3 down. So that's one thing he wouldn't want to be.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Down to the weight now.
He's close.
How good's this? Oh, it's going to... Oh, I badly wanted to see that. It looked brilliant at the 2/3 mark, didn't it?
Well, I just leave it alone. So resting the white, the one that's overweight from where he's staying well clear of it. Good on him. It makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, and what we see there is a congested head. Down at the mat, it's even more so, isn't it, when you're looking down the length of the rink. So some really good bowls here by these two. Tinker says, that's yours, Morris. It's 1 to Morris Symes, and it's 3-all. So tomorrow's coverage will be Val Smith against Janine Noble at 20 past 10, and then Tony Grantham playing Sean Scott at 12:40.
Couple of good matchups there.
Yeah, I think so.
For those that don't know, Val got 1 out of 2 today. She dropped her last game.
That's a wonderful segue, actually. I'll just go through the results from that 3rd round. If yeah, I may as well. I'll do that now. So we saw
good.
on the broadcast match, Natasha Grimshaw defeated Reen Bellis 21 points to 11. And on the rink adjacent to that, Jenny Anderson, of course, defeated Catherine McGoey 21 points to a number. And then we saw Nicole Toomey from Stokes Valley Bowling Club defeat Shirley Jennings from Waikiwi Bowling Club 21 points to 7. Waywin Reynolds from the Manurewa Cosmopolitan Club defeated Carol Hawes from the Gisborne Bowling Club 21 points to 15. Briar Atkinson from Paratutu defeated Dale Rowe from Featherston 21 points to 6. And then a game that got timed out, Marilyn McLeod defeating Julie Adams. Marilyn from Te Puke, Julie from Belfast 18 points to 16. Lindley O'Callaghan, as you mentioned there, Mark, defeating Val Smith 21 points to 15. Lindley from Alexandra Bowling Club. And last but not least, Janine Noble from the Takado Bowling Club defeating Sharon Leonard from the Kiotoa Bowling Club 21 points to 12. So some good matches on in that 3rd round of the women's singles.
Interesting watching Craig Tinker with that last one, Mark, where he was indicating he thought he was heavy. Just sort of, slow down. Well, it ended up perfectly positioned alongside the jack. Changing his hand here, coming down on the forehand for him.
Yeah, he's close to probably selling out here. No, he's got the right side of the jack,
Oh.
so he's okay.
Yeah, 1 to 1.
Go, thank you.
One down, mate.
So Morris Symes, a bronze medalist at the Commonwealth Games in 1990 with Rowan Brassey. Whoa! Oh, nearly swallowed that. And an Asia Pacific gold in the pairs in 1985 with Wayne Nean. Same year he won the national pairs with Jeff Hawken. And then, of course, that was 1985, winning a national title. And then 2021, winning another one. And a fair bit of success in between times, too. That'll just sneak in for a couple.
The marker just up on his toes there to get a better look, Tony. So 1 conceded by Morris, 2.
2.
So both players have set the stage to this ditch hand, and the heads show that they should be on the hand by the looks of the way they're packing them in.
I have an inkling somewhere in my head that Morris's mother was a very good bowler as well, and I think her initials might have been, her name might have started with an M. I think she was another M. Symes from Taranaki, but I've got nothing to back that up. I just think that's the truth.
You'll get text messages from who? Well, I'm sure someone will be in touch with you.
I'm pretty sure she was very successful, and I'm sure she was another M. Symes.
I actually think Morris is originally from Taranaki, isn't he?
Yes, and he's returned back there. I'm sure he won the Champ singles this year, obviously. I think he'd won it at the start of his career, and there was like a 30 or 40 year gap between Champion of Champions singles titles for Morris Symes, which is a pretty impressive statistic. Craig Tinker. Oh, just underneath.
Symes wandering way over to the bank to have a look at where this finishes. Yeah. No damage, but still 1 down.
I don't think he's here with this one. Morris should
changes
be
hands.
Yeah, trail jack, I think.
We'll sit the shot.
Close.
Yeah.
What a bowl.
Oh, yeah.
What a shot.
I'm pretty confident that'll be 3.
Yeah.
Incredible weight control, isn't it, for Morris? Just that weight to get the collision bowl to stick around, and suddenly Craig Tinker's staring down the barrel of 3 down. Morris watching on. That's another, that's the experience of the man.
I think Craig will draw this because he's played this hand really good this game, so you would expect him to draw shot.
He's had the ideal line, and he just needs to. He's got those to sit in, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Settle
he
in
gets
if he
shot.
wants to.
Look at that.
Yep.
Yeah, but he's played that hand well the entire game so far, so you would expect him to get out of that. And I think we're surprised if Morris tries to trail or sit the bowl again here. Trails the jack out. Could make 2 or 3.
And if that fails and he sits on that shot bowl, he's got it, hasn't he? So playing that same hand, almost the same shot as he played last time. So at the moment, Tinker holds shot.
Close.
Here's Symes.
He's close.
Looking for the jack or the
Far
shot
away
bowl.
here.
That's pretty good
Yep,
stuff.
that'll do it.
Great
Yeah,
job.
yeah.
Imagine if he's made a 3 out of that. It could be 2, but based on this camera angle. We'll find out soon enough. Where do you stand on the finger measuring situation, Mark?
I do it.
Oh, we've finally got one who actually uses the finger measure.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through, so when you're a player and you're doing the finger measuring, what's the theory? How does it work?
So the key thing is actually to make sure when you've got your fingers together that the rest of your body's tight, so your arms can't move up and down. Clearly if your fingers move up and down, it changes it by big distances. So I think it's just a guide, and it's just giving yourself reassurance.
Just one. So one to Symes there. He has the mat again. He trails by 5-4. Oh, 6. Oh, hang on. No. 5-4, is it? So Symes got a single on that one. That's all right.
Got there.
They
We're all easily confused at the best of times.
just try to test us, really. Putting up the wrong names and the wrong numbers, the wrong ends, the wrong score. Just fun.
Here we go on that ditch side.
How's that Takaro club going, Mark?
Um,
Continuing to thrive?
Yeah, look, still one of the stronger clubs in the Manawatu, and got some good players there. Dean Gilson, who just won the National Mixed Pairs this year.
Yeah.
And in fact, he's leading Manawatu's Player of the Year at the moment.
Oh, so that's a points accumulation type contest, is it?
Yeah, throughout the year and what events you win and so on. So,
Yep.
at the moment, the only person that can actually catch him is actually Janine Noble, who's playing in this event. So I think if Janine qualifies, she will be either joint champion or champion on her own. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Last weekend I was chatting about the super singles, that year 1 to 8 competition that one of your members, Fletch Christian, was involved in organising. So that seemed to go pretty well. There's some outstanding junior players, or 1 to 8 players around, but particularly we saw some outstanding second and third year players. Really good stuff. So quite a good concept, I thought, the whole thing.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen it in action, but I have heard a fair bit about it. And yeah, Fletch, pretty inspirational sort of guy. Likes to.
He's enthusiastic,
isn't
stuff.
He? He's enthusiastic.
God,
right?
yeah. And I think by memory it was like singles year 1 to 8. They had competitions in each centre to select the representative, and then you played two ends of 2 games of 6 ends. You had a power play on each end, each set, a 1-set tiebreaker, and then there were, it was a static jack all the time. Move your mat around if you like, all that sort of. It was really quite quick and interesting, but still, the 3 bowls, that's right, 3 bowl singles, so that was a bit of a difference as well. So it cut down the time. And I think, as Fletch said, there's a lot of people around who would like to play bowls after work, but there's no they don't want to play the traditional like this up to 21 shots or anything.
Could get lucky.
Ooh,
Hasn't.
gee.
Hasn't. It's gone not good.
That's the first time we've seen an attacking shot really from either player of real weight. And Craig offline a couple of times then.
Not good. Not a good result for him. So probably a 3.
So for Craig, it's about settling down on this next end, isn't it? You can the top players are very good at. You almost forget that happened, because there's no point in playing this next end thinking, oh, I've just had a couple of bowls go right. He'll be able to remove that from his head, and he'll want to settle down on this end and get himself back on track.
Yeah, the interesting thing about dropping a 3 or a 4 in singles, they actually don't count if you get 1 or 2 back the next end. So it's not like you drop them. It's when you drop a 3 or 4 and then you drop the next end, then those 3s and 4s count, if that makes some sense.
Yep.
It made enough sense.
Unless it's really late in the match, yeah.
So here we go. Back on track. Will Craig Tinker want to beat?
I don't know whether you noticed, but Symes went over and had a quick chat with Tinker after that shot. There'd be a bit of cheek in that, but each of them knows that this game is only just starting. Dropping a 3 with a bit of aggression. Just got to win each bowl as it comes down at the moment. Tinker's holding the advantage and still is.
Might be forced to switch hands.
Yeah, I think Morris will swap hands as well, unless this bowl gets in the way.
There would have almost been a temptation for him to do it with the second one, but the logic usually is if you've got your line right, you're not going to hit the bowl.
Oh, he's going to persevere down the ditch side.
I suppose he's got his own there if he's intent on just pushing something up, but he'll be more inclined to try and draw around that.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Morris is looking up saying, oh hell, he's on the mat already, I better pick the ball up. He's just watching his finish and Tinker's on the mat having another go. He's round that, he's okay.
Oh, a lot happened there. Morris's bowl actually sat down.
Yeah.
Oh, the finger measures are out for Tony Terry.
Keeping his body nice and still, Mark.
Yeah, a little bit of movement on that second one.
Was it? Oh, okay.
Whatever happened to, do you remember the bullseye? That was something that they had briefly. It's like a see-through circular bit of plastic with rings on it.
Yeah.
Can't remember what
I'm
happened to
not
it.
too sure they're allowing that, though, were they?
Yeah, I think it was deemed to be a measure, perhaps. Oh, I can't
Yes.
remember.
But I suppose you could use anything, couldn't you? You could have a piece of nice, smooth little piece of plastic in your pocket and use that with you, and just move it around, because I don't think there's anything in the rules that says you can't use anything, apart from your fingers. There was a move, wasn't there, at one stage, or a very unsuccessful and short-lived move to ban the finger measure, or so it was mentioned.
We're going to chop off fingers.
Yeah. Ban the finger measure. And
May
that
as
would
well
be
just close
ludicrous
your
when you
eyes.
think about it. Yeah, because we've talked about the marker having more flexibility in answering questions and that sort of thing. So bowls is going really so far in encouraging people to play it and to play it fast and enjoyable. They don't want to get tied down on too many silly regulations, especially stopping the bowl from going into the ditch if it's what was that one that came up this year? You can't
It no longer
Yeah.
exists. Let's not confuse people.
No
here.
longer exists. Yeah, yeah. Because I found it in a gala the other day, just playing at the club. Someone said, "Oh, you can't stop that," and I said, "No, that's finished now. I can." That rule didn't last.
It's like a fever dream.
Yeah.
That's 2 there to Craig.
Yeah.
It's 7 all now.
Yep.
Which makes the 3 drop the end before almost 0. So I think that was the key point of
What
what
you
I
were
was
talking
making
about,
out
wasn't it?
before.
Yep. So how many? We've had 9 ends and 14 points scored.
Oh, did we just see a jack overthrown? We saw a lot of them in the previous match, didn't we, John?
Only from one player, wasn't it? I think Reen Ballas put it in the ditch, 3 ends in a row, I think, going in a certain direction. This direction.
It doesn't actually matter here because both players aren't moving the mat and they're both trying to chuck it to the tee, so both players are actually settled into the same length. And good start again from Craig.
Who's that sitting down there in the blue? Do you know him, Mark?
Not from that picture, no, I can't help you with that.
I was going to be
Was a
rude
good
and say it
try.
looks like the rat. Looked like Barry Andrews from Timaru, and then I thought, oh no, Barry wouldn't be impressed with me saying that. Got the same poise.
I'll avoid that conversation, I think.
Here we go. Another good
Craig's
bowl here
whacked
from
another one
Tinker.
on it.
Falls back in, looking good.
Pretty good.
Ooh, Morris, a couple quite short, and that was the perfect track for him, it appeared. So if it was the perfect track, then he might hit it up next time. Here goes
Yes.
Tinker with a 3rd coming in.
Yeah, this is pretty good again. Well, it's probably one of those good bad ones because he gives
Yeah.
Morris something to land.
Down 3, looking for the perfect weight here. Sit the jack even.
I think he's quite up.
Might be short again.
Oh, great effort. The line's good.
Come in.
Craig's reaction is that he's quick here. If you want to call 18 inches.
No, I
quick.
was going to say, as you see, he did that before and he almost drew it dead, so he's got a high expectations, hasn't he?
Well, he's actually
He's
played
gone
4.
wider this time.
He's played 4 really good bowls there, as Craig.
Oh. So he drops a 3, he picks up a 2, and now he's picked up another 2 at least. So negating that 4, haul the measure tape out. No, he settles for 2. So Craig Tinker is leading Morris Symes in this first round men's match of the Somerset Champion of Champions singles in Hastings. We've had 3 rounds of women's play today as we see the jack whistle past the 2 metre and probably into the knot.
Oh, it stopped. It
Quite
stopped.
into the ditch. Yep. Already Tinker has his first bowl well down the green, playing that forehand side,
And he's good again.
ditch
yeah.
hand.
Like the standard with the first bowl in general in this game has been right up there. I mean, that's probably only 18 inches short.
So if we had the circles operating, Mark, it'd be within those, wouldn't it? You know,
Definitely.
those-
I'm thinking 18
Yeah.
inches, that bowl.
yeah.
Beautiful line. How's the speed here?
Yep, he's in the area again here.
Good shot. Just relentless, isn't he, this Craig Tinker? The artificial, the carpet here, and you can hear a little bit of the ambient noise. I think it's, from memory, it's got like a wooden base to it, and it makes you sound like you've got a dump in, even if you don't. It's one of those carpets. Almost every bowl you let go makes a bit of a noise, even when you let it go smooth. So you could hear Morris's bowl hit the ground there, but that's it's not a reflection on his delivery, I can assure you.
You are correct, it is a wooden floor, and if you don't get them away good, you hear them.
Ideally, you just want to hear one bounce, eh?
I don't think you want to hear any.
There we go. Morris on the forehand.
He's
Is it going to
a little
turn?
wide, I think. The only good news is he's opened up the hand now.
Yep.
I think Craig will be just looking to draw a shot, get a touch and might make three.
Slight movement of the jack would be great, wouldn't
Yep,
it?
that's what I was saying. He's close.
Yeah, yeah. Not
That's
the
two
other way.
shots.
Good ball
That's
anyway.
pretty- Yep.
And Morris staying on the ditch side. And the green is good, so Morris has a chance here. Big show.
Lovely bowl. Is it going to follow it?
Oh, that's a great shot.
And sit down.
Oh,
Still couldn't get it. He touched it like 4 times. Couldn't get the shot.
yeah. It's precision stuff.
Bit of a smile there.
Yeah, the good news is he turned the head over a little bit. He was 2 down, so to turn it back to 1 is good.
Yep.
Keeps him in touch at 10-7 to Craig.
Probably the loosest first bowl we've seen from Craig Tinker in some time.
I'd say probably from both players in general.
But harking back to what you said after the scores changed from, when Morris Symes picked up a 3 to go to 7-5 up, and you were saying, early stages in a match, you just can't let that worry you. It's always quickly you can get it back, and he has done. He's gone from dropping that 3 to picking up 2 2s and a 1, so it hasn't penalised Tinker, and you could sense it didn't get into his head at all. He just continued to bash away and play brilliant bowls. Might have got into his head now, thinking, oh well, I've hauled that back, I'm fine.
It's your fault, John.
Commentator's curse, yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely the worst end we've had for the whole game. For sure.
Oh my goodness gracious me, look at this. Do we think the jack's a little bit, it looks right on the 2 metre mark, doesn't it? Maybe just that mat or two deeper than what it has been?
Yeah, because it has been about 2 feet out from the tee most ends, so that is probably what it's about.
Just
This is a
that
good
little
shot
bit.
though.
Oh, here we go. That's a good recovery.
You get a chance to relax when you play a good one like that.
I don't know.
You've not done one, John.
No.
It is easier when you're
Like
commentating.
Yeah. Oh, well, gee. He's going to wander down the bank and have a look at that and just think, how on earth am I 4 metres short with 2 bowls?
He almost took his time on that one. How's the weight? He's moving his arms around like he wants it to go.
I think it'll count.
He'd be happy with that. And
Yeah.
all those bowls, all those short bowls in front, you know, ordinarily you'd look for a way to get onto that last bowl that Craig just played and see if you could get rid of both of them, but there's the Great Wall of China up front. I don't think Morris will be able to find a way through.
Looks like forehand trying to sit the shot ball down to pop the jack. And he's close here. He's played it. What a
Oh, he's
shot.
played a pearl,
What
hasn't he?
a bowl. Oh,
he's
it's
Oh,
followed
hard
it.
luck. Gee,
That's
didn't quite follow it through.
the
Well, the good
reason.
news again for Morris is he was 2 down, he's converted it back to 1, so it's another semi-turnover. He's only dropping singles.
Yeah, it's only 4 shots difference, so that's a long way to go to 21.
Morris was unlucky with that shot. The reason the bowlers, we watch this, the reason the bowl followed the jack is because it wasn't touching the jack. So the energy didn't pass square through because it's not touching. Your bowl's always going to follow a little bit, but very unlucky to get that result anyway.
Yeah, I think he'll take that considering he was 2 down playing.
Yeah,
So,
and a good shot.
and Craig's let him in again here a little bit. And this is better for Morris. Close from Craig, but I think he's through the gap.
Yeah, just a, well, handy position though. Symes, smooth delivery, left hand resting on the knee and pushes it down that forehand side, looking to get around the white, coming for a second shot. Is he going to get there?
Beautiful
He
bowl.
is.
Yep, he's good.
Yeah.
And Craig should be looking to sit trail here, I think. I don't think we'll see him short. He might be short though. It surprises me he
Interesting.
wasn't at least arriving.
It's the sort of shot he had to be up, didn't he? So it is a bit surprising that he wasn't there.
I think the next one he will be reaching, that's for sure. He's got the 2 blacks to land and the jack to pull back to his first white bowl for a couple.
Oh, you mightn't have to. I know, Morris, what have you done here, mate?
Oh,
Good.
well,
good
he's holding
result.
3.
Yeah, that's unfortunate
Big
for
target.
Morris.
Yeah, yeah.
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 Low end Morris's work. But the only problem is Craig wasn't watching. As they say, this is like
Just
Christmas
bounce it
time.
over.
Yeah.
He's close
He's
here.
close. He's got them all. All 3
Oh,
of them.
what a
Oh,
shot.
wow, look
What
at
a
that.
shot.
And now he holds 4. The bowl on the ditch is
Morris.
a toucher.
Unbelievable.
And, yeah.
Oh, well, I'm sure we'll see a replay of that. Here it comes now. Watch what happens here. Well, not with this one.
Well, that's a good bowl, but it's not
After
the one
some-
they're looking for.
some superb bowls.
It's a bowl that's
Yeah,
not
they
going to
just
be there
chop
much
them up
longer.
here.
And another bowl that's not going
Oh.
to be there much longer. And then we see the third one that's about to disappear. And watch this, folks. Unbelievably good.
Bang, bang, bang.
All of them.
Click,
Thank you
click,
for
click.
coming.
Yeah.
Great shot.
Owen Morris has not chucked a good one.
No, he's cut
What
it
a fickle
down.
game we play. Great
So
bowl.
it's only 2.
Two.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
well, he
Craig's
saved
still-
a couple.
Yeah, Craig's building up a pretty handy lead here.
Since dropping that 3, Tinker has won the next 5 ends and gone from 7-5 down to 13-7 ahead. Quickly on the mat again.
It'll be interesting to see how many other games where they all decide to play the ditch hand. That'll be the bit I'd be interested to see. Do we know the last game who played the ditch hand? Did they both play it?
They ended up on the ditch hand. Ring
yeah,
did mostly,
Ring-
didn't she?
She did, yeah, and it wasn't until later in the game that Natasha Grimshaw played that. She was quite happy on the open hand and played it well.
Yeah, well, I think Natasha, clearly she plays in this area and on the screen a lot, so I don't think there's probably any hand that Natasha Grimshaw would be worried about.
No, no.
So I feel Morris needs to score this end just to turn the game around a little bit.
Yeah, he would have felt like he had a good opportunity to score on the previous end, Morris, and sometimes it can just knock the wind a bit out of your sails when the opposition plays just that one absolute bomb and you aren't able to recover it.
And Craig's good here too. Well, there's another head building up good for Craig.
How's the weight?
Yes, well, one more to go, Morris, after this. Got Craig Tinker holding shot,
And
holding a couple.
yeah, this should count too.
Lovely bowl.
That's definitely 3.
And again, we see there's a few short bowls up front, so aggression is not an option here for Morris Symes.
Does need to play a good one.
He's not wide.
He's needing to rub off the front bowl, or one of them.
Oh, he's going through the hole.
Oh. This is sort of the run of scoring that if you're Morris, you want to be stopping now, sooner rather than later. As Craig Tinker's one of those players, he's not going to suddenly start playing loose bowls.
No, you can almost see his foot just above Morris's throat, can't you?
Yeah, well, if you blink, you're going to be 21-7 down. You know,
Yeah.
Morris is good enough to stop that. He'll draw on his experience, but as Mark said, now is the hour. And it might mean that we see some different shots from Morris, perhaps, with his third and fourth bowls.
Yeah, and Craig's so quick on the mat that you almost don't get a chance to relax as well.
Absolutely. As far as Morris is concerned, you know, you have a moment to blink and Craig's drawn a one within a foot, and then you play your bowl. You turn around, and by the time you've picked it up again, there's another bowl on the jack. I can just see it snowballing. Look at this here from the old master.
So I'm presuming Craig's using XGs, I think. Is that correct?
Yeah, XGs and Taylor somethings.
I would say probably
I'm
red
not sure.
nines,
Something.
are they?
Yeah.
John GTRs is what Morris has got.
Cool. The Taylor something isn't a model that they produce at the moment, but the GTR is.
Can I get a set of those Taylor somethings?
Well, you have to wait for them, John.
Oh, right.
Don't even ask me what colour they're going to be.
Oh,
Here we go.
Hoping
This
they invent
Morris-
the glass bowl.
Yeah, I think that'd be cool.
Because no one a better set on the rink.
It is interesting. The thing that we don't think about too much, well, probably no one else has thought about it. The jacks are a bit of equipment that the bowling club holds on to, and you can turn up to some tournaments and find some very, very old jacks, like ones that would be 70 or 80 years old. That are almost made out of porcelain. Like there's some strange ones around.
Yeah.
So
They
Craig's
explode
not
quite
leading up here.
spectacularly. Up or down, he says.
I'd say could be 2 down. Morris is close here.
Very close.
Yeah.
And
Set
should
the ball.
Very
flip it for
close.
shot.
What a bowl.
Very good. Under pressure. He mustn't be feeling great at the moment, having seen that shot from Tinker a couple of ends ago where he ripped everything out and was sitting with 4. After Morris had a nice 2, he's been bowling. I mean, Morris has bowled a few loosish ones, but in general, you wouldn't say that he's bowled badly. It's just Tinker's bowled better, and also I don't know whether you could say he's had a couple of breaks because he played shots and got the results from them.
Really good third and fourth bowls from Craig Tinker, I think.
Yeah, I think the standard of this game has been really, really high. I did watch some of the earlier games, and I didn't think quite the heads were as good as what we've had here. Tinker's close again here, guys.
Isn't he?
Square.
Yep, he's played it
And
right.
for one, beautiful bowl.
Does Morris change hands here, do you think? Backhand or forehand? What do you think, Mark?
I do think he might swap here.
Yeah.
Because on the other hand, he hasn't quite got the play. I think he should reach, though. Reach for the shot bowl. And he swapped hands.
Yeah.
How's your line, Morris? That's the question.
Yes, if he's got the weight, he's close here. And he
Not
looks
far
like he's got
away,
the weight.
Morris Symes. Square and follow.
Oh, yes, that probably does it.
Gee.
Goodness, I wouldn't mind seeing that
Really?
one again. Just keep an eye on the jack.
He gets a 1 out of it.
And he was very unlucky not to make 2 or 3 out of that, you know.
Oh, yeah.
I still can't quite figure out how the jack got bogged on the bowl to our left at 9 o'clock. It looked like that wasn't going to happen. Here we go. Here's the replay. Keep your eye on the jack. So Morris threading the needle here. Gets it pretty square. Ah, got it square, didn't it, really? So I was just
And
not
it's just
paying much
kicked back
attention.
off that bowl. If it had just sat on the bowl,
Yeah.
he would have probably hit 3.
But he breaks the sequence. It was 7 all, and Symes did not score for another half dozen ends. It's now 16-8.
And I'll tell you what is a surprise right now is Morris hasn't overly changed the length. And I would have thought the jet's got to get further back or the mat's got to get further up. So that's interesting. The length has not changed much. Craig's close
On the
again.
backhand.
He's all over it again.
Bowl. Unbelievable stuff, really.
I think he'll have to buy a new spray chalk for the marker, I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I wonder if they must be provided. Surely they provided the spray chalks. I should know that.
Apparently they are
Once your
provided.
personal spray chalk's going to be depleted.
Good shot from
Look at
Morris.
this here from Morris Symes. Yeah, good bowl.
Yep.
Morris swapping over to the forehand here to sit bowl trail jack, I think.
Part of the game is reading the other player's mind, isn't it? What does Tinker
He's
trying
close
to
to
do?
that shot, but he might sell out,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, great effort.
But that's the sort of thing that can happen.
The almost perfect shot. So Tinker holding the advantage.
Foul, what? Which one? The front foul? This foul here, the shot foul here.
They got there.
Just not quite touching.
Yeah, I think Craig was trying to confuse Tony there.
Lots of questions.
Well, Morris has a great shot on here if this doesn't change.
Oh,
Because this might change it.
Oh,
yeah.
Morris reaches up at the jack and the bowling, could get a nice squeeze and push the white ball out and just tuck the jack in behind the 3 blacks for 4. Which we can't quite see from our monitor angle.
Playing the forehand.
Playing the forehand and he lands jack
Yeah,
and the bowl at the
yeah.
same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That should just push the white ball back and the jack round the corner. That's what I think Morris will play. As you can see, we can't quite see the jack from that angle, but
He said it's not quite touching the jack. The bowl's not quite touching the jack, so I suppose that the only problem is that the jack might stay or jam to the white. But he's got to get it there. He's playing that hand that you suggested, Mark, the forehand.
he looks narrow.
Yeah.
I'll be disappointed with that one.
I don't think Craig will play this bowl. I'll be surprised if he's holding one.
You can draw 2 there, Mark.
Yeah, right. No, he's carrying it. I think he understood.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Easy.
He's not just a good bowler, he's a sensible bowler. Morris is saying to him, come on.
Yeah, he's giving him the chicken coop.
Oh. I would have attempted a second shot and folded my own bowl out and gone, that's why I'm a commentator and not a bowler.
Yeah. You would have played the forehand and played the perfect shot that Symes was looking for, Alex.
Yeah, not for me though.
He conceded a 4. Yeah, that's right.
You know me well, John. And the jack on the 2 metre.
So Craig can actually go out from here now. He's on 17. So Morris is going to have to make sure he's doing some covering as well as trying to score.
It's always an interesting point in the game, isn't it? That 17 when one of the players gets into the checkout zone from a psychological viewpoint.
Yeah, I think Morris from here should just set himself some small goals, like first to get to 10 and then like try and get to 13 and try and claw his way back into the game. And that's a relatively good start from Morris, past the jack.
Just had a message from John Gray who says, Merle Symes. Okay.
Merle.
So you were
I
right.
nearly went
Yeah,
for Merle.
Yep.
Have a look at this.
I can't believe I vaguely knew that.
He says, great player, represented New Zealand, won elite singles in Australia in 1988. And he goes on to say the first mother and son ever to represent New Zealand at the same event.
Oh, brilliant.
Thank you, John Gray.
I'm pleased to know that. I knew there was a story there, and I knew that maybe the initials were the same, but that's all I had in my brain, so I'm glad that that was filled in. Thank you, John.
And being a Friday, we've probably got a fair idea where John Gray is, but he'll be...
Watching the bowls, obviously.
Well, any day, actually, any day ending in a Y, yeah. So, thanks, John. Of course, John was part of that team with Morris Symes down in Alexandra a couple of years ago when they won that sensational fours title with the most memorable shot in the history of bowls, this is according to John Gray himself, was played by John Gray to secure the win for this man here, Morris Symes. So
Some trouble here, by the way, guys.
he has, yep. Has he got 2 on the bank?
Here we go. On the backhand. So Morris is 2 down, which would be 19-8. He'll desperately want to score. You'd be unlucky to chip your own bowl out if you just went nibbling on the forehand, wouldn't you? Like, it would be... Lots of bad things would have to happen in a row.
Yeah,
you could punch a white bowl onto the black bowl, though. This is a good weight for it.
He could be... This could be super
punch the
duper.
jack back to himself.
And chipping his own out for 4 down.
I was just going to say, to actually, that was almost the worst commentator's curse I've ever given. Sorry,
And
Morris.
you've given some real bad ones.
Priceless.
Oh, dear
A couple. So just be aware that tomorrow we'll have another full day of coverage from Bowls Hastings, a Hastings club here, and it's the Somerset Champion of Champions singles. We're featuring a women's match first up and then a men's match later on. I think it's Val Smith and Janine, is it? That's our first game?
Correct.
I've just got to check my emails here, which Alex kindly sends, and then I forget to look at them.
I forget what I've sent.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that is Janine versus Val.
Yep, that's cool. And then our men's match is going to be Tony Grantham and Sean Scott. Sean was opening today with a match against the Kapiti representative, and Sean's one of those previous winners. Shane Duncan from Paraparamu Bowling Club is the Kapiti rep here. I should check and see are there any results through as yet, Alex? Do you know? Are they still carrying on? 19-8, Craig Tinker leading Morris Symes at the moment.
I will have a look for you, John. And of course, if anyone else wants to have a look, you can find it on the Bowls New Zealand website under Champion of Champions, and it's also on the Facebook page.
So we've just heard Tony Grantham's won his match 21-5 and the others are still going.
Yeah, I think that game itself started about half an hour, even longer than this game. So that game started really early.
And didn't appear to go that long. As we see Tinker here on the backhand, inside or outside, but not square. That's what he would have been thinking.
Come on, Morris, pull the jack back and get 4. You got the chance here, mate. John, I'm just trying to score, okay? You just score then. Thank you. Here he goes. Good line.
Little feather is what
Yep, he's
is
in for
required. Didn't even need the little feather, just in for 2. Good bowl. Experienced campaigner. And he was thinking, look, if I can just hold on here, can work through.
He spins around and he says, I've just about got to get onto the mat again. It's so quick here. That's not a bad line either from Tinker.
Needs a
He's
run.
gonna
He
get
just
the feather
played.
and get the
He's
shot.
played so well,
Yeah.
Craig Tinker.
Ah,
Everything that Morris has played, there's been an answer to. And Morris has played well this game.
Close the shot, mate.
yeah.
What would you do here,
Morris,
mate?
I think Morris has got to go down and have a look, because if he is
Yeah,
1 down, he's got to play with weight. If he's holding 1, he can play a bit different bowl. It's a bit tricky to know what. If he plays with weight on the forehand, he could shunt the white bowl onto the 2 blacks and drop game.
Yeah, it's an ugly angle, isn't it?
He could gamble the backhand through the split on the 2 front whites and hope to get a nice follow through, but that comes with danger as well. So it depends really if he's going to be all in here. If he thinks he's 1 down, I think we'll see a shot of anger at that split.
Yeah, on the backhand, even if you
On the
narrow
backhand.
through the bowl at 12 o'clock,
Yeah.
you know, you're cannoning through the shot bowl, jack past, or back towards the 6 o'clock on your screen.
He's got the back
If you hit
three.
it hard enough, you're not going to have to worry about the white bowl.
Yeah, he's got the back three, so Jack in the Ditch is 3 up. So I think if he thinks he's 1 down, he'll go this.
Well, we should know by the way he sets himself up.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it looks like backhand raid.
Backhand, yeah, yeah.
Oh, no, it's not.
Very controlled weight
He's
here
trying to
from
draw a
Morris
shot.
Symes. Looking to sit his bowl in, it must be.
He must think he's holding shot if he's playing this hand.
I reckon so too, yeah. He's looking for 2 here.
I don't believe he's playing that hand if he's 1 down.
We'll know by the body language.
He's got called the umpire in, is he, or not? No.
I don't know that measure's going to fit in there that good, Craig. He's going to give it a go. I'm not convinced. We should get a good view here.
Yeah, yeah. Can't flick the black one out, Craig. That's it. No. Oh, no,
Oh.
it's his.
Yes, I am surprised with Morris's last bowl since he was 1 down.
He must have thought he was holding the shot there, I think.
I'm afraid his leg on that one down there is in the ditch.
So,
The one on the left hand
right on the
side,
precipice now. It's Craig Tinker on 20 points. Craig Tinker on the forehand.
And he's been sensational on this ditch side the whole game.
Yep, well done. Just 1 shot away. But sometimes that can take forever. And sometimes that one never comes.
That's not too bad from Morris. It's in play. A couple of feet past the jack.
Symes read the green very well. The line has been pretty much impeccable throughout. We had one loose end early on where there wasn't much within sort of a couple of metres, but gosh, we've seen somewhere the bowlers have stood on the mat and probably it's only looked like you could throw a mat over them. Bowls down the other end, it's been so congested.
There's been a lot of ends with 6 bowls within a
Yeah.
mat's length.
Yeah.
It's a great shot
good
again.
bowls.
So
Morris.
Tinker is holding shot here.
Morris will swap hands here, try and sit bowl trail to his backhand. It looks
Holding it
tight.
to hold. It just feels like this could be
Yeah, he's narrow.
the penultimate bowl of this match. Oh, is there a plant? No, there's not. No, all sat down. I was just about to say he could just barrel the front bowl, but no.
I think Morris has only got sit bowl trail jack is all he's got here. I think Craig will be playing the same hand, trying to reach through his own shorter white bowl, trying to get just past. Well, he's going backhand as well, which surprises me. Doesn't want to give Morris any wingers to wick off, which he might
So this
do
could
here.
be it.
This could actually help
Going a bit
Morris.
short.
Yeah, that
He's
actually could
given
help
him
Morris.
an avenue.
Could be the last ball of this match. He heard it bounce on the carpet when he let it go.
Looks wide.
Oh, and that block is not bad. He needed to go under that. They shake hands as they come down, and it is Craig Tinker who's given a masterful display here against the experienced Morris Symes. They were 7-all at one stage. It was really neck and neck and quite gripping throughout, and then a break of about, Symes only scored once in the next 9 ends, and it is Tinker who's gone out and won by 20-8. Not a bad performance by Craig Tinker, Mark Noble.
Yeah, look, Craig was outstanding the whole game, and he just didn't give Morris, more than a foot, did he? Every time Morris got to the mat, there was 1 or 2 white balls around the jack, so it was a brilliant display.
So we'll have some, thank you very much, Mark, and we'll have some highlights of this match in just a moment. You can see the other games in the men's first round are continuing. Just one of those has been, or 2 now completed. We're back again at 10:20 tomorrow, Alex, with Val Smith and Janine Noble, and then later in the afternoon, Tony Grantham and Sean Scott. So look forward to you, me, and everyone else being involved in that. So you've enjoyed the day?
Yeah, no, it's been great stuff. I think, we've seen 2 really good games, 2 really good quality games, and we've got plenty to come over the next 2 days. 2 games tomorrow, of course, and then post-section on Sunday. I suppose on that note, what else have we got to say, John? I think
That's about it. We might have some highlights of this, I think. Yeah, and then we'll be back tomorrow. So we hope you've enjoyed this coverage today of the Somerset Champion of Champions singles, men's and women's. Back again tomorrow after these highlights, but we'll say cheerio for now.
Think age is just a number. Love the life you choose at Somerset Retirement Villages.